What's up, everybody? How's everybody's weekend kicking off so far? What's up, no one? I'm doing all right. A little tired. That's kind of my own doing. What's up, Dan? What's up, Jamie? Vexington? Jorts? Doing all right so far. I went to bed at like 6:30 in the morning last night. Well, this morning technically. I've been no worries, Dan. Son, only good thing I am. Oh man. What's everybody been into? I felt like I was about to sneeze there for a second. It's not too big of a stream or anything like that. I might play a game or something like that just to kind of fill in the time, I guess. Been reading Demon Slayer. I haven't actually watched or read any of that. Cat's just roaming around. It's been a pretty crazy week. Got a water leak in the hallway, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. Just started The Walking Dead yesterday, the show, not the show, but the comic. Nice. I don't remember when I got to in the comic itself. Still watching the show because I've put this much time into it up until this point, so I might as well finish it considering it's on the last season. So we'll see how it goes. What's up, Ragu? It's 9 p.m. in Ireland, having a beer. All the power to you, man. Shout out to Ireland, man. Got my wine in hand and just waiting for things to pick up. What's up, Dakota? Doing all right. Come on. Excited for that Midnight Suns game. I mean, the trailer looked fine. It's just a cinematic. I'd like to see some gameplay. So yeah, I mean, I thought the cinematic looked cool. I know it's supposed to be like an XCOM type game, but I'll kind of reserve judgment until we see more of the cinematic, because any one of these game studios can make a pretty cinematic. I need to see some gameplay, see what the actual game is, type of wine. All I know is it's Blackberry. It's a local brand. So they don't really kind of like advertise it as one thing or another. I just know it's made out of blackberries. And it tastes good. Still tried to get into Doom Patrol. I think the Flash and Legends are more entertaining. The boys already did this kind of brutal dark yet trying to be funny and over the top. Also, the actors don't convince me. I completely disagree with you on all accounts. I mean, I enjoy the Flash more, but I think Doom Patrol is one of the better shows out there. Because you can't even compare it to The Boys. It's not even the same kind of show. What's up, Russian Ease? Fair enough. By the way, you got any thoughts on the new Saints Row game coming out next year? None whatsoever. I've never actually played any of the Saints Row games. I played well, no, that's a lie. I played a little bit on co-op with before, but that was I mean, I played for maybe like 20 minutes and didn't really play anything more than that. So I can't say for sure if Toby and Andrew are in No Way Home. I really don't think they'll show them in a final trailer. I doubt it either. I doubt they'll. If anything, they might show like a tease, maybe a silhouette, maybe like a voice or feet. But I don't think we'll actually see them. If there's anything like in the trailers at all, I don't think we'll see anything like that. Thoughts on no new Bugs Snacks reveals? Yeah. Bugs Snacks 2 win. You have to be true. Doom Patrol is a better show by reception and storytelling to budget, but The Flash has got more years on its back. Yeah, but I feel like at least at this point, the way things are going, The Flash is kind of like its glory days are a little bit behind it right now. Unless this new season just kind of blows us away. Doom Patrol, I feel like the characters are so layered, deep, relatable, and just entertaining. And plus, they're just like, it's just bonkers, man. It's just so fun, rich, interesting, vile, but not in like a sinister or pessimistic kind of way like The Boys. And The Boys isn't out there. It's just dark superhero parody. What's up, Nicholas? I think the villains is as much we need as the hints go, but if they're No Way Home, I'll be happy seeing the villains return to the respective roles. I can agree with that for sure. No Way Home, people are saying that our Doctor Strange isn't our Doctor Strange. Yeah, I mean, I do personally think that we see two Doctor Stranges in the movie. However, I do think that Strange, that the Strange that cast the spell is our Strange. I don't think there's anything up with our Strange. I think that people are a little reading too much into that particular thing. Of course I can compare it to The Boys. Heads being chopped off, the superheroes all have serious issues, but yeah. It's like, it's two completely different genres, though. Like, The Boys is meant to be satire. Like, the Doom Patrol is, like, I don't know. That's like such a surface level comparison. They have superheroes and blood. Therefore, they are the same thing. That's it. Thought whenever Kylo Ren looked at Vader's helmet, all he would hear is "You're a monster" and always will be. Luke's voice saying it, but it's Snoke manipulating his mind to make those types of memories in his head. Yeah, we figured that out. Gotta say, Doc Ock hasn't aged a bit. Well, I mean, he was de-aged in the movie. They used de-aging technology to, in No Way Home for him. He mentioned in an interview that they were doing de-aging work on him so that they could make him look exactly like he did at the end of Spider-Man 2. I think it's our Strange, and he agreed to the spell because of his ego, and the spell went wrong because Peter didn't shut up. Yeah, and some people were like, I saw some people try to make the argument that like our Doctor Strange is like too smart, too good to mess up, that like a kid distracting him wouldn't do anything. But if you think back to the very first movie, he had to tell a guy for a serious operation to cover his watch because the ticking of his watch, the hands moving around his watch dial, was distracting him. So a teenager yelling at him constantly while also changing the provisions of the spell as he's trying to cast it for this kid, yeah, I'm sure that would definitely throw a wrench into things, because if the spell is linked to Peter and Peter is feeding off of it, Peter is messing up the spell too. So we don't really know the machinations of it just yet. What would the process of Mike Dugan joining the Injustice Society look for you? I have no idea. Maybe him being an outcast in this point is like, but I just don't see him becoming a supervillain merely because he doesn't get to join the team. I don't know. I have no idea how Cindy plans on roping him in. And maybe it's not even that she wants him on the Injustice Society. Maybe she's just scouting him out as a potential way to get at The JSA, I don't know, but I just don't see how he would contribute. Obviously, some of the people were like, okay, yeah, but he's going to wield Thunderbolt. I was like, well, they tried that. It's not going to go to him. We knew Jakeem was going to be a major player in this season, so I don't think that was going to be the reason he was on her layout. She doesn't even know about the pin, so like, yeah, I have no idea. I think she just knows that he's the little brother of this family. She knows who the family is. She knows who they all are. So I think that maybe she's going to use Mike as either a target or as maybe try to befriend Mike in some way to get insider info. I don't know. I don't know how the whole Cindy looking out or looking for Mike is going to play into things. I'm Brazilian. It's the first time on your channel. Sorry for bad English. No, shout out to Brazil. Welcome. If I have to ask you to clarify anything, just don't take it personally. But yeah, no, strong so far. Welcome, man. I wonder why Electro is yellow this time and not blue. Who knows? It could just be a variant because he's also not going to be physically blue like he was before. The lightning, if anything, from what we've seen, is yellow. So I don't know. Maybe he's not exactly the one from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Maybe he's a variant with very similar things. So I don't know. That's a good question. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some. It could also be post-transformation, post that. Maybe like the next step in his evolution, if it is the one from Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I think we'll just wait and see. I think with the whole concept of the variants and stuff, he might even be an Electro from a universe we haven't actually seen. They just felt like reusing Jamie Foxx. Because they haven't confirmed whether or not he was actually that one, just that he was recast as the same character. So it could just be a different iteration. However, Alfred Molina has confirmed he is the Sam Raimi Doc Ock. So he might not actually be from the Andrew Garfield film. I think we'll just have to wait to see for now. Struggle with the first half of Doom Patrol Season 1, then I liked it. Season 2, loved it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't struggle at all with Season 1, but yeah, Season 2 is a lot of fun. I really dig it. I think Mr. Nobody is just like such a fun villain, though. Wait, the train in No Way Home, was that the same train from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2? You know, that I don't know. I saw some people try to point out that maybe it was, but there was some differences in that train that I saw, so I don't know. It could just also be a random train. Dude, you hear in the news? What news? Is it official or is it leaked? It's flawed superheroes, yet I can't get into this. It's so random, but not funny or cool. I just don't care enough for the characters. Well, man, I don't know what to tell you, because I feel the complete opposite way. I think it's hilarious. I think it is cool, and I love the characters. Where'd I get the Master Chief helmet? It came with the collector's edition of Halo 3. Did you hear Mia Queen is coming back to the Airverse? I did. I just hope we find out what happened to William after he got kidnapped, since the show didn't get greenlit for us to find out. And I want to know what happened, because that was dumb for them to end on a cliffhanger like that and not knowing whether or not they were going to get a green light or not. And to end with William's life kind of up in the air like that. If you were to pick villains for No Way Home, who would I pick? Well, let's clarify that, Dakota. Outside of the ones we already know, like fill in the roster, or if I were to create the ultimate Spider-Man team to fight Spider-Man. Because there's quite a few, there's only really one spot that hasn't been confirmed if we're thinking that there's going to be a Sinister Six build up in there. I think Peter really needs to have his own villains and created from his own actions and not created by someone else's action. Cough Tony Stark, cough Tony Stark. Since Peter's 16 in Infinity War. Yeah. Yeah, so far he hasn't actually created any of his own villains yet. And I do think that is a little bit of an issue with that's one of my few issues with this iteration of the character, it being him being so tightly wrapped around Tony Stark. But I think after this that we will finally get to see that separation. What do you think about Christian Bale's leaked costume as Gore the Butcher? I mean, from what we saw of it, I mean, it's just like what he wears on set, I'm assuming. So who knows? That means nothing when it comes around to the to how the post production is going to fill it in. So I got no opinion about it. It is what it is, and I'm sure a lot of it's going to be done in post. But is it me? I don't know what I could say about a suit that's designed to be really touched up later, so I won't really talk about it too much. Starting back to school in August, he should be around 17. Means this should be his senior year, which hopefully means I get to see my boy graduate and meet Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn. We might. Hope Electro gets another look than just the yellow-green electrician vest. Yeah, I do too. I'm curious to see what he turns out looking like whenever he comes back around into the film. Do I know who the sixth Sinister Six member is? No. I would like for it to be Mysterio somehow, but I doubt it. But I think it will be Scorpion or let's see. Maybe a Ned variant and it's a Hobgoblin. Who knows? I don't know. What do you think about the rumor the Scarlet Witch fighting someone from the Fox in Multiverse of Madness, saying it could be for Professor X? I mean, it would be cool. I just don't know why it would be happening other than it being cool. Or why she would be fighting them unless it's like an evil Professor X. So I don't know. I also saw that it can be part of the Illuminati team. It'd be interesting. Unless Wanda comes out of this ended up as the villain in the film, which we've still has kind of been a rumor for a minute, whether or not she's going to actually be the villain, whether or not she's going to be helping Doctor Strange. We still don't know whether or not that's true. If it is the Illuminati, then it would be... It would kind of end up making me think Wanda might be a villain. You can see the sixth member of the Sinister Six on the Lego set package. I won't spoil it if no one has seen it. I have not seen it, so I'd rather not know until it's out. Thoughts on leaked concept art from Ant-Man, Edgar Wright's Ant-Man movie that showed Hope Van Dyne as Wasp fighting with the Avengers in the Battle of New York. How do you think Hope being a part of the Avengers would have played out? I mean, they won without her, so I feel like they would just have a bigger advantage. I don't really know what having her there would have really changed, since they kind of solved the problem themselves without any too huge of issues. So yeah, I don't know. But I haven't seen any of the leaked concept art at all that's come out about Edgar Wright's version of the film. No, I haven't seen that yet. Daisy Johnson needs to come to the MCU. Who's Daisy Johnson? Oh. I mean, like I've said before, like I haven't watched. I stopped watching Agents of Shield around season 3, and I just wasn't able to stay into it by that point. I'll be honest, when I first behind the scenes was leaked with the MJ falling, I thought it meant Mysterio was predicting the future and trying to tell Peter. Not too sure about that. Shield show. Right. Yeah, I googled it there so I could save myself on that. What's up, Jaden? What's everybody's read on Titans right now? After we had the infamous episode 5. Played the PS4 Spider-Man game? If so, thoughts? I have a review for the Spider-Man game, and I have my full playthrough on the channel of the Miles Morales DLC. I didn't have an actual recording of my full playthrough of the PS4 game, but I did do a review on it. So I recommend checking that out. I did quite enjoy it. I think it's one of my favorite superhero games in one of, if not my favorite superhero game that has come out in the last like 10 years. Apparently in Wright's Ant-Man, Hank Pym was full on crazy like his comic counterpart, so maybe it was best we never got that version. Who knows? Wow, yeah, definitely don't go on images and look at the Lego sets. They spoil you right away. Yeah, Lego always spoils stuff all the time. The Lego sets for a lot of movies, like with Venom, with Godzilla versus Kong. Like, there's just so many things, man. Am I more excited for Spider-Man No Way Home or the Flash movie? I'm gonna have to say it, and this is my I'm just gonna have to whisper it because I don't want my DC friends to hear. It's Spider-Man. But that's also not surprising because I've got so many mixed feelings on the Flash movie versus the history legacy of the DCU at this point. So while I'm confident with Marvel and what they are going to deliver, I'm not so much with the Flash movie. I'm more like anxious about the Flash movie than anything. What's up, SSF? Yeah, man, streaming. What if this movie also introduces the MCU Norman Osborn? And like we see Defoe on his glider, sees Oscorp in the building as Norman looks, and we see Matthew McConaughey, and he says, all right. I don't know. Matthew McConaughey as Norman Osborn, I think, would not be a good choice, personally. I worked in a Lego store at the time Endgame came out and saw a lot of spoilers. I would imagine so, man. I imagine so. Speaking of spoilers and toys, Civil War Funkos gave away Giant Man. Yeah, I remember that. And the Funkos for this movie so far haven't spoiled any, nothing huge, except for all the new Spider-Man suits. Because a lot of people knew what the suits were going to look like because of the Funko Pops ad listings got put out. And that's not like a leak or anything, but that's publicly accessible. And it's like, okay, well, there we go. Titans is still a little sloppy, but I really like the cast. Lazarus Pit in Gotham was super easy, barely an inconvenience. Why is there a Lazarus Pit at all in Gotham? But it's whatever. It is what, and how does Batman not know it's there? And Jonathan Crane does. Anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It definitely still has a lot of problems, issues, like sloppy writing, but at least this time around, it's not too painfully distracting because the characters aren't as unlikable as they have been in the first two seasons. So, like, yeah, I'm pretty on for it. What if we get a J. Jonah Jameson variant and he's actually Omni-Man? That would be hilarious, and that would pose quite a threat here. Doctor Strange versus the Shade. I mean, I think Doctor Strange could beat the Shade, man. We're going full out. Read the leaked script from a few years ago, and it's very dated. To be fair, a loss of Phase 1, lots of Phase 1 and early Phase 2 doesn't age well, like Iron Man 3's Mandarin. We'll see. Travis Slattery's in Shang-Chi, so we'll see how that plays out. Why can't December 17th be here already? I know, right? Really? I really can't wait. Can't wait. I hope it doesn't get delayed. Season 3 Titans much better than previous seasons. I'm still waiting for Raven to show up. Yeah. Me too, man. Oh, I know Matthew. Who's my choice? I mean, Matthew has the look. I mean, I don't think he has the look to me, personally. Poolside check-in. Say hi real quick. Gosh, man. Sheena, you got a membership? Do you charge? They need to pay you. Goddamn. You're at pool every weekend. I'm jealous. I mean, I don't know who my choice would be. I don't see Matthew McConaughey in that role for that type of part. I don't think he's got the look or just the general attitude that could carry like a Norman Osborn type figure, personally. It's the internet, too much information, hard to avoid spoilers while being invested as well. I unsubscribed from all the channels before Endgame came out, but resubbed after, of course. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. One thing I'm concerned for is No Way Home. It's just not going to feel like a Spider-Man movie, nor as Tom Holland movie. It feels like plot is going to override the character in this one. That's a concern I have as well about it, but I feel like somehow this is all going to be in benefit to his character. I hope. I could be wrong, but so far, I don't feel like the MCU's let me down too much when it comes to character, except for a couple here and there. But I think there's a chance that this can just all accentuate Tom Holland's Spider-Man and really kind of have him stand on his own. But we'll see. We'll see. It could get overcrowded. It could get cramped and lost in the feel of all things, but we'll see. Will I do the Jonathan Crane dance? Hell no. If you think about that lineup this year for Marvel, it'll make you feel better about waiting on DC or December 17th. I mean, yeah. I mean, we got plenty of Marvel stuff coming out between now and then to keep us, like, satiated for now. Who wins? Crane dancing versus Zemo dancing. Definitely Zemo. Zemo wins. The Crane thing was just weird. Always thought Giancarlo Esposito would make a good Norman Osborn. I think he's just really good at playing that, and I don't want to typecast the guy just because of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. But like he's kind of becoming typecast as that same kind of character. Like, I mean, even in Far Cry 6, he's in a video game playing kind of the same character. In The Boys, kind of playing the same character. I'd like that, and I'd liked him in that role, and I think he would do a really good job, but I'd feel bad at the same time because it is kind of like typecasting. Been thinking of a scene that would be really, really completed. It's a home call after 7 months of silence from Civil War, and as he does, I'm having on TV, drops the phone and takes the Stark suit, but his own got him suit with his own. Okay. Let's see. I'm just happy we're finally getting a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie where we don't have Tony's shadow lingering over him anymore. I wholeheartedly agree with that, man. I miss WandaVision. Do I? I do. WandaVision was a lot of fun just to get through, like the experience of the week to week, the thoughts, the theory crafting and all that jazz, and just the tone of it was really interesting. I really did like it. What if Spider-Man was Team Cap? It's a good question. He does change sides in the comics, at least. He starts off Team Iron Man, then later transitions to Team Cap. But I don't know how that would really change too much of the films all that much. I don't have like this 5D chess brain that could like really spin off a crazy story after that. Totally called it when Far From Home came out that Marvel would loosely adapt one more day for the third Spider-Man movie. I didn't think we'd ever go that route, man. But yeah, we're definitely loosely adapting one more day. And what's the other one? One Moment. The second I saw his identity get revealed, I called it. Does Jonathan Crane get a 24-hour time loop of him dancing? Nope. Zemo wins. What's up, Yuri Korsov? How are you doing, Yuri? Like, I hardly see how the Peter Parker high school angst fits into the multiverse villains universe ending stakes. Like, what the fuck cares if Ned or MJ are in danger when the multiverse is at stake? Fair enough. I mean, that's a good point. You know everyone is doing this milk crate challenge? What? I have no idea. I have not heard anything about that. Hope the MCU gets to keep these characters. We'll see. I doubt it. I think they'll go back to their original homes after this. Would you like to see a Green Arrow and the Canaries miniseries on HBO Max? Well, sure. Yeah, I mean, I was never really thirsting for that show. I was going to be watching it regardless. Just to kind of see where the story goes and how the legacies carried on. I wasn't going to be hurt if it didn't get picked up. I just wish that in the pilot episode that they didn't end it on a cliffhanger that made me wonder whether or not William was alive. I was like, damn it, why'd you do that to me? So yeah, I'd watch it. I'd be even fine if they just continued in a comic or even wrapped up that storyline within one of the other shows, which I think is what they're going to do in the crossover. I mean, they gotta. If they're bringing in Mia, they gotta at least be like, by the way, this is what happened. Doctor Strange 2 villain is going to be an X-Men Fox villain. Why do you say that? And please, we are not talking about leaks or whatever. I mean, if it's rumors, that's one thing, but yeah. I don't think there's going to be an X-Men Fox villain or member as the villain, despite some of the things floating around. Why Twitter is negative at Airverse news? I read a quote tweets on the news and people were asking it to be canceled, but these clowns don't even watch the show. Well, yeah, sure they don't. Most of them don't. Or they stopped watching a long time ago. But yeah, I don't know. It's just easy to be negative and get reactions out of people, and it's just an easy way to get some brownie points or clout points in social media and on YouTube. I mean, hell, outrage clicks are a thing, man. What's my favorite animated Spider-Man show? I've only really watched the 90s one, so that one. That's the one that really defined the character for me. That was my Batman the Animated Series equivalent for Marvel. I miss Chadwick too, super bad. The actors who played Sportsmaster and Tigress were promoted to series regulars for season 3 of Stargirl. This makes me wonder if we'll see them in this season. That's interesting, though, that they would be... I would assume that means they get out of jail. Oh, that's interesting. Now, I saw that as well, though. Mephisto's about to get back from his vacation, and he's going to see the multiverse in ruins and turn right around. Hell yeah, man. When do you think we'll have any info about the MCU Fantastic Four / X-Men reboot? Personally, I think it's going to be late 2022 or some. I think it's going to be way later than that. Maybe 2023 is when we finally get to get some little hints or tweaks of it. But I don't think it'll be next year personally, but I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. Now you're going to be like, Strange, bad news. He a menace to the multiverse. Did research on Wikipedia just to see what happened to early Flash writers, and it seems half of them went to work for Superman and Lois, and the other half are Legends Tomorrow. Your thoughts? Well, the half that went to Legends Tomorrow, I don't know what the fuck they've been doing. Because as far as writing goes, it hasn't been the best. I'm slowly losing interest in Legends of Tomorrow. But yeah, the showrunner for The Flash left to go spearhead Superman and Lois. He's the showrunner of the first, 5 seasons of The Flash is the current showrunner for Superman and Lois. And yeah, a lot of the same writers are over there as well. So, and it's been like, well, how long has The Flash been starting to go downhill? And I don't think it's all Eric Wallace's fault, though. There's a lot of outside factors, but yeah, the writing has kind of really dipped in the last couple of seasons. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I think they got a muse with Superman and Lois, and they're just like on a stride and nailing it right out of the gate. I think the true test of the show is how long it takes for it before it starts to feel stale like the other shows. Like, will it start right into season 2? Will we start to be feeling a little fatigued? Will it be season 3? When will it, how long, what's the longevity of this show and how long will it stay at that season 1 quality? I think that's the real test. Because I feel like most of the Arrowverse shows all had really good first seasons. and then slowly trickled off. I think Arrow is one of those exceptions where season 2 was probably the better season compared to season 1. But with the Flash, it was like season 1 is definitely peak, and from there it's just like each time we get a little bit farther from the first season, it just starts to go down in quality a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for the Flash crossover. Hell yeah, man. I doubt we'll see Green Arrow and the Canary show, given we're rumored to be getting a DC EU. No, we're not getting a Black Canary show on HBO. We're getting a Black Canary movie on HBO. And it's not rumored, it's confirmed. Last time I'll post about this, I promise, but I completely forgot. Miniseries is free to watch on YouTube. I'll have to check it out when I have some time, but that is not on that's not high on my priorities last night. I'll just let you know that. So the Sonyverse new name is SSU. Sony Spider-Man Universe. Better than Spunk. 100% better than Spunk. In one reality. Loki won. Kind of want a Wanda versus a Jean Grey fight. That would be cool. That would definitely be cool. The villain is confirmed for Doctor Strange. No, it's not. The villain has yet to be confirmed for Doctor Strange. All rumors, nothing hard. Oh, we got a new Flash story. Oh, well. Not really. That was just somebody's like one-off comment. Nothing to report there. Sorry for the excitement for a second. No matter how bad Titans season 2 was, it's miles better than the Flash season 7. But season 3 of Titans is fucking insane. So far, hope it keeps it up. It's definitely better than the first 2 seasons so far, I think. I'm not going to get ahead of myself because I thought season 2 was on a good track, and then it really let me down in the second half. So we'll see. I would say, man, I don't know, man. Season 2 of Titans, I'm really harsh on Titans, man. I really am. So, but yeah, I would have to admit, I'll admit, I don't know. Season 7 has some upsides that I do enjoy about it, but overall, is it enough to outshine season 2 of Titans for me? That I don't know. I'd have to ponder on that. The promo for the next episode, Tigress and Taskmaster escape. Ooh. I haven't been watching the promos, so that I'm trying to keep out of that whole thing. So do I like the hero lineup for the Armageddon crossover? Hell yeah, I do. I'm down for it for sure. I'm glad we're getting who we're getting. I would have liked to see Superman in there, but I feel like Superman is in its own timeline currently, because they did say that the reason they've refused to acknowledge or mention Kara at all is because mentioning her will spoil the final season of that show. So I feel like Superman Lois is a little bit off as far as timelines go, and I'm fine with them taking a little bit of a break to let it stand on its own, but we'll see. Daniel, are you even subscribed to this channel to ask me such a question? Do I think Topher Grace could come back to Marvel? I would like it as like a little joke, but I don't know. I would like to see it, but I don't know that would happen or how they would work it in. But I would like to see Topher Grace maybe cameo as like maybe not this Spider-Man 3 version of the character, but if he was like a variant of a different character or something like that, and made a comment about if he was Venom or something like that. I don't know. But if him actually being the one from the Sam Raimi universe would be an interesting little way to play that in. I would like to see it. I just don't know how they would wrap it in. Be honest, season 6 of Gotham could have easily introduced the true Joker. I know we'll say Jerome Jiraiya, but I mean the Joker's backstory from the Killing Joke, but modified. Well, I mean, they could have done whatever they wanted if Warner Brothers let them, but Jerome and Jeremiah are that world's Joker. So that is their Joker. There is no real Joker, but except for them. Really missing Star Wars right now. Me too, man. Especially after watching that behind the scenes. What obscure villains do I want to see in Superman Lois Season 2? Obscure villains. Toymaker would be cool, except in this universe we already have one and he's dead. And Wynn is his son, so I can't really do Toymaker. Maybe dive a little bit more into Intergang. I don't know. I don't know. Big villains I want to see is Lobo, Mongol, and Brainiac. But as far as obscure off-the-hand ones, I'm not too sure. Early show for... Blah, blah, blah. Yep, I mentioned that. The early Arrow showrunner is doing Green Lantern HBO. Yep. Well, is he show-running it? I don't think he's show-running it. The Green Lantern Corps. Do we have... Doesn't have a page yet. Let's try this. Yeah, Seth. The showrunner is Seth Graham Smith. Seth Graham Smith. What have you worked on, my dude? Nothing I've seen. He's a producer on It. The remake of Child's Play, It Chapter 2, Kung Fury 2, the Batman Lego movie. He's a writer on it. But yeah, I think you're talking about the creator, Greg Berlanti, and he's also the producer, and he produces all of the DC TV shows except for Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing was the only one that is currently airing. Stargirl, all the Arrowverse shows, Titans, have all been a Greg Berlanti production. He also worked on the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. I think he was the writer on that. And Lois Season 3 needs to hurry up. I miss This Is the Way. Won't be till next year. Late next year, unfortunately. You looking forward to the Black Canary movie with the actress from Birds of Prey and the Green Lantern show? Hell yeah, I am. Saw that the Green Lantern show will have a budget similar to Game of Thrones. They will need it. But I'm really looking forward to it. They cast Finn Wittrock as Guy Gardner, and I think that's a pretty fantastic choice. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm still like a little confused at why Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan aren't in there at all. But I get not focusing on them, but I would hope that we would see them in there, but they've so far denied all of that. Season 2. Some people say Season 2 of The Flash was the best because of Zoom. I feel like Zoom, and like I agree with some people on this one, is that the Flashpoint stuff was way too mishandled. The Jay Garrick twist was interesting. The multiversal stuff was fun. But Zoom did kind of feel like a rehash or a lesser version of Reverse Flash to me. I had some fun twists in there, but it was almost kind of like we're replaying a similar arc that we did in season 1, which is the only reason why I love it. I love season 2, but I don't have it above season 1 at all. I would love to see Thea Queen in the universe again. Despero will probably bind control Thawne and Dark to do his bidding. That's a good thought. The fact they're bringing in Despero is pretty interesting. And this alien invasion. What are your thoughts on comic book movie Twitter? Recent negativity against Tom Cavanaugh's Reverse Flash. They slandering the GOAT. I haven't seen anybody slandering it. I've seen people, the only things I've seen is people upset that now that he's left the show that they aren't bringing in Matt Letcher to be Reverse Flash, because most people have been a little exhausted with Tom Cavanaugh's version, and I in some ways agree. I like him in that role, but for me, I want to see the real Reverse Flash, and the real Reverse Flash is Matt Letcher. So like, and there was a lot of really behind the scenes reasons why I understand they continue to use Tom Cavanaugh, but he's no longer on payroll. So it's not like they have any of those benefits by having him continue to do it other than face recognition. And I don't know. I would rather see Matt Letcher come back as Reverse Flash going forward, especially because I'd like for them to actually get into his origins in this so far, because we've always kind of danced around it. I mentioned the multiverse in season 1 of Superman Lois, and the end of season John's daughter appeared. I bet the multiverse will play a role in season 2. I feel like that's exactly what that was hinting at. I think we're going to be going to maybe going to help John's Earth is what I'm thinking is going to happen. What do I think of William Dafoe, Green Goblin in the MCU? Do you think he's actually going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home? Yeah. I mean, that was his voice. He was in the movie. That was his pumpkin bomb, and that was his voiceover doing the Peter line. Where's Roy Harper right now in the Arrowverse? Wherever he and Thea are. Because they left off together in the finale of Arrow season 8. So who knows? No idea. No idea where they went after that. Don't know. I think the Connor episode in season 2 of Titans was excellent. Then everything after that went badly. I'm one of those people that I didn't really like any of the Cadmus stuff. I didn't really like it. Was cool, and I've heard a lot of people say that the Connor episode was one of their favorites. I was meh about it. I thought the last good episode of Titan season 2 that had me invested was the Jericho flashback episode, and then the episode following that immediately like undid a lot of that optimism that episode gave me. Favorite Batman Arkham game? Probably the first one. I mean, I like everything that they've done in the other games and the way they've expanded it, but I like that focused, singular location and drive that it had. Like, it had this claustrophobic, trapped feeling about it, and I liked the setting, the locale, and the idea of it. And the only thing I didn't like is the Venom Joker at the end. I thought that was a little bit hokey, but everything up to that point I really dug in that game. Might as well be a movie. And what if we saw what caused the timeline in episodes 1 and 2, but in episode 3 we didn't see what caused the change? Why did Hope join S.H.I.E.L.D.? Why was she chosen, and why did she go to Odessa, and who killed her? The theory is that it was Winter Soldier, since Black Widow was sent to Odessa in those early days and was attacked by somebody and got shot but survived. So that's my guess. But yeah, it is a little odd that this time, now we're getting farther and farther away from the premise, and I'm letting go of it I learned in season 2, it's just going to episode 2 after that. It's just going to be, I think we're starting to distance ourselves from the initial premise in the first episode. And I think it's only going to get more expansive and more distance from that concept going forward. So we're going to be seeing wholly different changes where we probably won't even know what the beginning factor was. Who knows? But that's going to be my guess. But yeah, I do think it was weird that that we didn't get like any hint to it. Like it was just kind of like this toss away line. The Watcher himself didn't even mention what the change was this time. We just kind of had to piece it together ourselves. What was different ourselves this time, which was a little bit of a change, but I still liked it. You know why everybody is so harsh on Wonder Woman 84? Yeah, I do, because it's not good. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, but it wasn't because I thought the movie was good. I like the character moments. I like the stuff with Steve and Diana. Outside of that, I didn't like the action. I didn't like the villains. I liked the performances as far as the villains go, but I didn't think the villains were very fleshed out at all. The rules of the movie didn't make any sense. What Wonder Woman and Steve do is borderline disgusting. Not even borderline, really disgusting. When you start to think about it, and the plot structure is just awful. Yeah. But I had fun watching it, but not for the reasons the movie wanted me to. Do you remember the controversy over that movie? It ruined the Tim Burton Batman series moving forward. I don't know what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about. Really wish we could have got It Chapter 3. What? What would that even be? Have I seen the new Candyman film? I have. I did. I saw it Thursday night, and I've been procrastinating and making my review video about it because I'm really confused about a couple of things that happened in the movie. And I've been trying to figure out if I'm misunderstanding or if it's a fault of the movie. And I've been watching a lot of other reviews and a lot of explanations. I even rewatched the first film last night to clarify even further. And I feel like, yeah, it's not me. It's definitely not me. So I'll be putting out a review either tonight or tomorrow for it. But yeah, I did see it. I think it's pretty good. It is above average for a horror film, but it definitely have some flaws and some things that annoy me in it. Also heard Adam is coming back to the Airverse too. He is. I feel like Shade is an easy character to cosplay as. He is. Kinda. I mean, you just need a gentleman tuxedo, a cloak, and a top hat. And a cane, and I think you're pretty much set. If they were that John Diggle's Green Lantern is going to show up in the Airverse, that's why Jon Stewart isn't showing up in the Green Lantern show. I think that as well. Or that the Green Lantern show is actually an extension of that. And because there's no Jon Stewart in that show, it is because Diggle becomes the Green Lantern and they don't want to overlap those. It could be me over-hoping, but that's what I hope happens with that. Do you think we'll get Roy or Thea or even Oliver in the Flash crossover? I miss Arrow. Maybe Roy and Thea, but Oliver, I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. They did say there's a lot of surprises they've yet to even announce. So who knows who it could be. I'd really like for Superman to show up, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. But I would like for Roy or Thea to show up. Or even Dig. Especially since aliens are involved, you might want a Green Lantern. Maybe that's what they're holding out for. Maybe they're waiting to announce that until his Supergirl episode, until his arc is over, so they don't spoil that. Now I'm hyping myself up a little too much. I'm still upset that Matt Ryan won't be playing Constantine anymore, but he'll be playing a different character. And yeah, I don't care. I want to see him as Constantine, even though they've been running that character kind of into the ground in these last 2 seasons. I don't know how I feel about him just playing another character. I didn't really like it when Maya turned over into Charlie. It all just comes down to how they're going to handle it. But right now, the show is trending for me to probably not have it be a reaction series next season, but we'll see. They're probably going to bring back Hawk with the Lazarus Pits. Lots of people will stop watching Titans, and I hate it. I won't blame them. Oh yeah, yeah. People, I've already seen a lot of people say like, if Hank comes back, I'm just done with the show. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's some shots of him from the trailer that people have pointed out of that he is not, that we've not seen yet. So could be a misdirect, but I doubt it. Titans doesn't have the budget or the care to really kind of misdirect in the trailers too much, so we'll see. Will Goblin have the same costume as before, or will it be slightly different? I expect it'll be different. I hope we get him in the purple hood, for sure. That personally. You think Clint will die in Hawkeye? I particularly hope so. Yelena does whatever it takes. I hope not. I hope Yelena learns the truth about what happened. Or even maybe she learns the truth after she's already killed him. I hope Clint doesn't die. And I hope Yelena doesn't actually follow through on that mission. Am I enjoying Titans? I'm enjoying season 3 of Titans. I still think Titans season 1 and 2 are some of the least enjoyable DC shows that I've watched. I prefer Arkham City and Arkham Origins. Arkham Asylum was great, but the horror didn't work for me. Batman isn't that kind of character. He's a noir detective character. City Origins did that well. I mean, I felt like that was still present in Arkham Asylum. You still had the detective stuff. You still had the isolation. You still had Batman figuring things out on his own. I think it really showcased what Batman is like in a dire situation, and I like that. Oh, like I said, I like what Arkham City did as well. I just liked that and it's not even the horror aspect of it. It's just the intimate and focused narrative of it that I really enjoyed. So yeah. But I know most people say Arkham City is their favorite. When do you think we'll get Black Cat or Silver Sable in the MCU? In the MCU, probably never. Considering Sony is planning a Black Cat and Sable film. So, probably never, unless something else changes with the Sony Marvel deal. What show do you think is better? Boy Meets World or Girl Meets Carl? Girl Meets World. Honestly, I've not watched a single episode of Girl Meets World. But I have fond feelings for Boy Meets World. So I think I'm going to be a little biased considering I haven't seen the other one. But yeah. Not sure if I watched Umbrella Academy. I heard season 3 is the best season yet. I haven't watched any of Umbrella Academy yet. It's one of those shows that I've yet to really get into or even start just yet. But I do want to watch it eventually, and maybe when we get to a point where maybe we got some downtime between shows, I can work on some stuff that's already out. Did I get my What If shirt from New Rockstars yet? Not yet, but I did get a notification that it is shipped, so I'm hoping I will have it for the next episode of What If. Have I heard the Flash Armageddon stuff? Yeah, I have. We've talked about it a little bit earlier in here, talking about the heroes that have been confirmed for the crossover. The villains, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Can't wait. I just hope the rest of the season post-crossover is good and doesn't need to rely on having a bunch of people showing up to try to save the show. Man, is No Way Home a Tom Holland movie only because it seems to be 1 versus 6? I don't know. I don't know. I think it is just as possible that Andrew Garfield and why am I blanking right now? Oh my God, Tobey Maguire aren't in the movie, but their villains are. I posed a theory when I posed this theory in a the Real Rejects live stream about the Spider-Man trailer a couple days ago. It's like, what if, like, when it's not the spell that breaks the multiverse open while they're doing it. Maybe it had an effect. Maybe something else happened there. But maybe what happened is that the reason... Because a lot of people are like, that's a misdirect on the bridge, you know, when he's like, when we see Doc Ock, he's talking to Toby, what they show us Tom Holland. And I was like, okay, that's very true. That is very something Marvel would do, and that's usually what a lot of trailers do. It's those kinds of misdirects. But like, what I was thinking, I was like, wouldn't it be interesting? And it would really kind of give them an excuse to have the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire villains without necessarily needing Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, is if, while Strange is casting this spell, right? It's a memory spell. All he is doing, based on what we know in the trailer, is removing that data. He's not altering time. He's not changing the fact that that happened. From all we know from the trailer so far, is he is just casting a spell to make people forget that information. So it should just be as easy as that. It shouldn't really even have anything to do with the multiverse if the spell worked. What I think happened is, while that's happening and Peter's messing with the spell, that just lines up with this fracturing in the multiverse. Maybe the spell itself also kind of works and aids in causing that to happen right there. Or even because of the thinning in the realms between the multiverses, that the spell goes beyond this universe that they're in. Because, right, the spell's to forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man. However, these invaders are from another Earth who know Spider-Man, but they're not from this Earth. So what if the spell erases Peter from the minds of everybody on our Earth, but then gives that information to these people who are of other Earths, because it was intended for this Earth, right? So instead of taking away that memory from them, it overrides their memory with that of Tom Holland. So instead, they think that Tom Holland is their Spider-Man. And then who knows? Maybe at the end, the real Spider-Mans from those universes come in and be like, hey, you're supposed to be fighting me. And they help Tom Holland. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That's just a fun little guess. I don't even like fully subscribe to that whatsoever, but it was just a cute little thought that I had when I was thinking about it. WB is so dumb for axing Constantine. I agree. 100%. That's one of the main reasons that I'm just kind of fed up. They killed off Sarah in this episode and this season. They're getting rid of Constantine this season. They had Ray leave. Like, there's just a lot of things that I've just not been a fan of in these last two seasons, and it's just really starting to stack up. There's a rumor it might be getting a short film called It Prologue. Oh yeah, okay. I do remember Andy Muschietti saying they were talking about making a third It film, but I thought it would kind of be like a prequel, but I don't know. What do I think about Legends? I really don't like the show anymore. I still like watching it just to kind of keep up with it, but like, I'm just not having the same fun that I used to watching it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of considering dropping it as a reaction series, is because I don't feel like my reactions to the show, because of how I'm feeling about the show right now, aren't fun to watch. I mean, people still watch them, still like the videos, like I get that, but like for me, like I just don't feel like I'm adding much value to it at all. To me, your Titan's kind of starting to feel like Gotham. I'm not getting that vibe. Maybe if you can elaborate on that a little bit more. What's up, Peelings? Doing good. How about yourself? We take Sony at dawn. Have I seen He's All That? No, I have no intention of watching that movie, unfortunately. My top 5 favorite live-action DC TV shows. TV show, not just a season. Number 1, Arrow. Number 2, Flash. Despite how things are going, Flash still holds a candle above everything else to me, still. Smallville, Gotham, and actually, hold up. Superman, Lois, Smallville, Gotham. I know it's only been one season, but so far, like, Superman, Lois has just been great. What's up, Philly Vane? Next to Ratcatcher 2, Squirrel Girl is OP. I don't really know too much about Squirrel Girl, except that she's a girl that looks kind of like a squirrel. Do you think we'll have another trailer for a Suicide Squad game? The first trailer came out a year ago. So far, we haven't had any more information. I hope so eventually. They might be saving it for DC Fandom, but I'm not sure. And it could also just be because since then, delays have just kind of increased. But who knows? I'm looking forward to the new Marvel game, Midnight Suns. Also, what did you think of Marvel's new mobile game, Future Revolution? For me, so far, that game is great. I haven't seen any... I just saw somebody talking about Future Revolution. I didn't actually click on the video or anything, but I don't know anything about it. It's the first I've heard of it. Midnight Suns, I watched the trailer myself. I didn't react to it at all, because I've just made like 10 videos in the past like 72 hours, and I'm just like, I'm done for a second. I need a break. I mean, it's fine. It looks interesting. It's literally just a cinematic. So I don't like getting all too hyped for a game if I've got no idea what that gameplay actually looks like. So I'm going to reserve myself on Midnight Suns. I like the cast. I like the crew that you got in it, the concept, but I need to see the game. A good concept and a shitty game, it's still a possibility. What's up, Elevator? What are your opinions on who Doctor Strange actually is in the trailer? Well, I think Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange, except in the scene with the trains. I think that might be an alternate Doctor Strange, because I don't think that he's wearing the same outfit or the same color scheme as what we are used to. But, yeah. But the one that cast the spell, I believe wholeheartedly, is our Doctor Strange. Recently did a new edit of DC with a friend, so I can do an edit for No Way Home. Cool. Sounds good, man. Practicing your editing. Had a theory that when rumors are coming out about Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina being in No Way Home, they aren't just playing the original characters, but the MCU versions. Yeah, well, I kind of thought that might be the case until Alfred Molina in an interview said, no, he's playing the Sam Raimi version of the character. So that doesn't mean Jamie Foxx is playing the Andrew Garfield version of the character, because obviously his lightning's a different color. He's not going to be blue in this movie. They've confirmed that as much. He could just be a variant that just also is played by Jamie Foxx. But Alfred Molina himself, at least, has confirmed he is the same version of the character. So we'll see where that goes. Theory about Sinister Six is why are all these villains back if most of them died in their universe? Because this means that their Spider-Man could have gone bad or died. The theory right now is just that they were transported out of their universes at the moment of their death. Unless it's orchestrated by somebody else or just a happenstance of the multiverse collapsing or falling apart. Don't know. I think that's going to be one of those things we'll just have to wait and find out. But I don't think that any of their Spider-Man have gone bad, personally. Is it me or Flash Season 6 was really good? I think the first half of Flash Season 6 was really good. The second half was okay. But yeah, I wasn't like too huge on it. I did like the Bloodwork stuff a lot, but then I feel like after that, it kind of went back to more of the usual. Like, think about it. Alfred is being de-aged. Jamie Foxx's yellow powers. What if they were playing the MCU versions and not the originals? Well, I'll just kind of reiterate what I said. At least. Because he did say that he is taken from the moment he died in the second movie. And that's been a long-standing rumor for now, as all these villains have died in their respective universes or whatever, for whatever reason. Thank you for answering most of our questions. I love you. Well, shout out and love you too, man. Love all you guys. I try. If I miss some, please let me know, because I try not to skip over people. Unless it's something really dumb, in bad taste, or what have you. Favorite Marvel movie? Like Marvel in general or MCU, Sean? See, with Doctor Strange, because of his accident, his hands are always shaking when casting a spell. Even in Endgame, his hands didn't shake when casting the Forget spell. I don't know what to call it. I mean, that could just be an easy... I don't really notice his hands shake all that much when he's casting certain spells, personally, but I don't know. Is it crazy? I mean, it's his hands shattering that leads him to the mystic arts anyway. So even if it was a variant, that hand thing should have still happened to get him to that point, right? So even if it's not him, he should still be having that thing going on, but I don't know. Unless it's Mephisto. Is it crazier? I'm more excited for Titans than Stargirl. Stargirl is a way better written show, at least. As far as excitement goes, yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how Titans is panning out, because I'm intrigued at the possibility of the show getting better. Stargirl, I'm just as excited for as usual to watch it, because I know, at least I think the show is going to stay good and keep being good. So like Stargirl, I kind of know what I'm getting into, and it's still slowly picking up. There hasn't been like this reveal that's had me foaming for the next episode yet. But Titans, I'm just like impressed this season so far, despite it still being a little sloppy. What do you think about this season of Legends? Personally, I don't think it's very good. I haven't really enjoyed a lot of it. I don't like what they did with Constantine. I don't like what they've done with Sarah. I think Bishop's an interesting villain, but the Rory stuff is just dumb, and not even enjoyably dumb, just really stupid. And I understand why he doesn't want to be a series regular anymore, and why he's leaving the show. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this season so far. Please tell us my top 10 favorite live action superhero / comic book TV shows, not just seasons. Like, in everything? If we're considering all of them, Arrow's still my favorite. Like, I hardcore love Arrow. Daredevil would be my number 2. Flash would be my number 3. Top 10 is going to be rough, because I mean, I can't even think of that many off the top of my head. Jessica Jones. Legends of Tomorrow. No, Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol. Swamp Thing. Shit, I keep forgetting Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois is right under Flash. Then, man, this is too hard, man. Smallville, Gotham, Legends, Black Lightning, Supergirl. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Marvel shows. God damn it. Okay, let's restart. Arrow, Daredevil, The Flash, Loki, WandaVision, Doom Patrol, did I forget Superman and Lois again? God, Superman and Lois, Doom Patrol, Uh, Smallville, Gotham. Trying to remember. Huh. I just gotta throw one out there, I guess. Punisher. Let's go with Punisher, I guess. Have I played Marvel Future Revolution? I have no idea what that even is. I heard it was a mobile game from somebody earlier in the chat, but I don't really know anything about it. Very scared of Yolanda and Beth dying in Stargirl, considering Eclipso is in the show, and both of them were killed in the comics. Oh, shit. I hope that doesn't happen. That's one thing about Stargirl that I'm really enjoying. I don't really know a whole lot about the JSA or the ISA. So, like, watching it, like, I'm usually kind of on... I'm not... Like, with all the other shows, I, like, know generally enough about all of them to kind of predict where things might go. But with these, I don't really know anything much at all about the JSA and ISA. So it's been a lot of fun kind of figuring things out on the go. Favorite Avenger and my least favorite. I mean, Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character. Least favorite. I mean, Captain Marvel. I just think she's the least interesting. She's powerful, but that's all she's got going for her. Art versus science. Art. I don't know who... I only know who one of those names is, Sean. No idea who Tyron Woodley is. Yeah, no idea who that guy is. Hot take, but one season of Loki was better than season 5 of Flash and Supergirl. Do you mean like 5 seasons of Flash and Supergirl, or specifically season 5 of The Flash? I think season 1 of Loki was better than a lot of the seasons of The Flash. So I don't... And Loki's better in every season of Supergirl. Personally, don't think Flash season 7 is bad. When people say it's unwatchable, I think it's... Unwatchable is hyperbole to me. But it is definitely not going at the speed I feel like it should be. Speed. Art versus answer. Explain answer. I find art more entertaining than science. I mean, I don't know what to tell you there. You think Toby and Garfield just appearing for the end fight against all 6 is sufficient? Or I think they would need to be a bigger part. I think them just hopping in at the very end would feel a little unbalanced. So I think they need to pop in maybe halfway through the second act or something like that for it to be substantial enough. Same with WandaVision. It was better than both Flash season 5 and Supergirl so far. It seems that it's better than Legends. So I don't know what you're talking about, Vexy did. I mean, season 5 of Supergirl was the worst thing I've ever seen in TV. Well, maybe not worst thing, but the worst superhero season I've seen in anything ever. On your 3rd beer now? Hell yeah. Haven't watched Black Lightning past season 1, so is it any good? I mean, it's one of those shows where I think season 1 was the best season. Season 2 is all right. Season 2 and season 3 really feel like one really long season. And that's one of the reasons I got really like fatigued there in the middle. And then season 4 was all right until the end. I thought the finale was a little really janky, but overall it was entertaining. Your favorite seasons of DC TV shows? Favorite Arrow season is Arrow season 8, actually, because how it ties everything together. Favorite season of The Flash is season 1. Favorite season of Supergirl, I think, is season 3. Favorite season of Legends of Tomorrow is season 2. Favorite season of Black Lightning, season 1. What am I missing? Batwoman's season 1. Doom Patrol season 2. No, season 1 still, because Mr. Nobody, man. I still really love Mr. Nobody. Titans so far season 3. Swamp Thing only had 1 season, so that one. Yeah. If there's any I missed, just let me know. Guess you've been asked this a lot before. What are your favorite movies outside of superhero comic books, like movies in general? I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. I mean, I love most of Spielberg's films. Star Wars, I'm a huge fan of. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones. Well, I mean, that's also Spielberg, but love horror, love thrillers, love animation. So yeah, like a lot of stuff, man. I just really get into the fantastical. Preferred the first X-Men team roster when they are preferred first X-Men team roster when they are introduced in the MCU. As long as they got Jean, Cyclops, Wolverine, Beast, and Storm, I'm fine with everything else. I'm worried about Stargirl, just might be me, but it's feeling a lot more CW this season. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. I disagree. It feels exactly like it did last season to me. The thing is, the show naturally focusing on the characters it does is going to feel like that. I felt like season 1 felt like a CW show. Just a really well-written one. Like the themes, the ideas, the character interactions, all the way down to Courtney being a little brat. Like, it's just what it is. It's just how the show has been. I don't think it's any more of a CW show this season just yet. I mean, we're only 3 episodes in, so it's really kind of hard to say. I don't feel that at all. I don't feel like the show's changed much personally just yet. Stop watching all the Airverse shows because for me, they drag the story too much to fit 20 plus episodes. For me, I think the seasons could be a maximum of 15 episodes. I think even 15 is kind of stretching it. I think 13, even 10 to 13, I think is the sweet spot. Because I still feel like even shows like Black Lightning, which does like 13 to 15 episode seasons, even Superman and Lois, I feel like could have been 13 episodes. It was originally supposed to be 13 episodes. And they decided because of the pandemic to give it an extra 2. And that's why I felt like in the last half that the Morgan Edge subplot, or the Morgan Edge plot, felt like it was a little overextended. But it didn't hurt the season for me, but yeah. I agree. That's been my complaint with the shows for a long time. That format just doesn't work anymore. I feel like TV has evolved beyond that format, and they need to as well. So yeah, we'll see. I think that's why they transitioned The Flash into trying to do these graphic novels where each season is broken up into 2 separate storylines. But so far, it hasn't really worked because the pandemic kind of fucked up their whole production on that. And I hope that is what we can blame some of season 7 of The Flash on, but I'm not wholly confident that that is the only reason, though. Do you see why there are going to be crossovers and who Barry's going to do red peoples and popped up on my Google? I did see who all is going to be in the crossover, and they also said that there are more surprises that they have not announced yet. Do I have any Funko Pops for Doom Patrol? I do not. It's going to be First Class, since that is the one Kevin Feige really wants for the X-Men. It'll definitely be First Class. The issue with Sarah is that they did this huge thing with her, and then after pretended that it didn't happen. Then they told Ava and Bishop about Bishop off screen, and just got into the it's a little rough. Yeah, it's definitely not being handled all that great. Was there a reason that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just wasn't in my top 10? That show was amazing. I mean, I stopped watching after season 3 because I was getting super bored. I wasn't interested in most of what was going on, but I just kept watching it because that was at a point where I was like trying to absorb everything that I thought was MCU related. And once they were like, oh yeah, this isn't canon anymore, I stopped watching that. I was like, I had no motivation to continue. So, and I wasn't really hooked on the storyline at that point either. I hear it gets better. And then there obviously is and it's not that it was bad, I just wasn't interested. It didn't have me hooked, you know. It wasn't because the show was terrible or bad or anything. It was just I didn't really care about any of the characters. I didn't really care about the plot. Yeah. Have I ever watched All American? No. Definitely not my kind of show. If it doesn't have supernatural stuff in it or actors I care about, I'm probably not going to watch it. And plus, it's what? High school football? Yeah, I definitely don't care. I know there's a lot of other stuff going in about it, but it's just mostly a drama, and I'm not into drama shows. Top 10 favorite seasons of superhero shows is going to be way too hard for me to kind of break down on the fly. That's something I would just have to think about. So I don't think I can necessarily answer that one right now. To be honest, my favorite movie of all time is The Karate Kid. It's a good movie. It is a good movie. I've watched it like 2 or 3 times in the past year or so. Ever watched Teen Wolf Show? If so, thoughts? I have not. I have not. No, Tyler Hoechlin is from that show, but I have not actually seen it myself. I've seen Big Wolf on Campus. I know that's not the same thing, but does that count? I want The Flash to evolve as a show even more so with Superman and Lois. I feel like it would have been better if they had an idea to battle on the same levels with other streaming services and shows. That's what they need to do to adapt. That is why CW made Superman and Lois the way they did. Specifically to like compete with streaming services. For The Flash and those shows to survive, they need to take that same mindset and apply it to those shows. So far, they have not done that yet. And I think they really need to. I am so that made the what? Made a 4th season, didn't get made with Devil. They're going to be adapting Devil Born Again. I think like even though Daredevil ended the way it ended in a way that was like nicely closed enough to where it closes out the whole series, coming full circle, but open-ended enough, like I would say like Dark Knight Rises, where you know the world and the adventures continue, but we don't necessarily have to see it. So it was just luck that it turned out that way because they didn't know they were not going to get a season 4 when they wrote that. Which is one of the reasons why, even though I liked Iron Fist season 2 way more than season 1, I was like, they set up a season 3 so hard, and we're not going to get that. Same with the Punisher. Yeah, sucks that they weren't given like a heads up to close out their arcs properly, but that's Netflix for you. Which show do I prefer, Daredevil or Loki? Daredevil, probably. Daredevil is like one of my favorite superhero shows, man. Like I said earlier, like it's just like I definitely listed it above Loki, so like I think that in itself is kind of an answer to that. The one thing watching Stargirl is that they are kids versus adults. I laughed when they came to attack Shade. What he told him is if he could like take them out in a flash, but he didn't. Yeah, and Shade's pretty OP. So like I think it's pretty interesting to see like that idea, and it is a little surprising that they were able to actually defeat the JSA or the ISA last season. But it is what it is. Any movies that I would recommend that flew under the radar that people haven't heard of, or just a movie that you like and nobody else nearby? Man, I don't know. I watch a lot of popular shit, so it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't really watch too many obscure things. Unless it's just like terrible bad movies. Most people by this point have probably already seen it or checked it out, but I always try to get people to watch Scott Pilgrim if they haven't. Yeah, man, I don't know. I can't really think of anything that Birds of Prey I think people should watch because I really enjoyed it. And I know a lot of people didn't. Oh, hey Marcus, thank you for that super chat. Did I get your car repaired? My car's AC just went out. Luckily, I have an extended warranty though. Well, awesome. I'm glad you got that taken care of. And I did. Yeah, I finally got the car back. They weren't able to replicate one of the issues. And so far, since I got it back, it has not been doing it. But they were able to actually fix some of the other stuff. So I do have transportation once again. So yeah, thank you for that, man. Thank you for the super chat. Wonder when Stranger Things is coming out in 2022. I really need to get into that whenever I have the time. I know I do. And maybe I will around that time. We'll see. We'll see. You think there's a possibility of having new cartoons from the Marvel Universe or even sequels of cartoons like X-Men Evolution considering the success of What If? It's possible. It's possible depending on assuming there's not any rights issues with any of the animation studios or anything like that. They could potentially spin those off into continuations under the guise of What If, or just like following the multiverse. Like the multiverse, at least it doesn't even have to be in a What If scenario. We can just be out in the multiverse knowing that these shows exist simultaneously in different formats. So it's definitely possible. X-Men Evolution is one of those shows that I really did quite enjoy. And thought it was a nice, fresh, but not tiring adaptation. Because I grew up with the X-Men 90s show. That was what I grew up with. And I think X-Men Evolution was obviously a pretty decent evolution of the property in animation. I really liked it. Between live action DC shows and Marvel shows, which do you think has done better overall? Now Marvel is maybe doing better, but overall in the last 10 or 20 years, which do you think? Oh, if we're talking the last 10 to 20 years, DC has been slaughtering Marvel. Marvel hasn't really kicked off, and I think like the Netflix stuff was awesome, but each season only had really, aside from Daredevil, each of the other shows only had one season that stood out. I thought season 2 of Punisher was terrible. But season 1 was a 10 out of 10. Daredevil was pretty consistent through and throughout. I think overall I'd give it like an 8 or a 9. Season 2 is the only thing that really kind of held it down for me. Jessica Jones, season 1 was great. Following 2 seasons, not so much. Iron Fist, season 1 was garbage. Season 2 was better, but it was just about okay. Luke Cage, both seasons were okay. But that's pretty much it. And then you had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you had some one-offs like the Fox stuff that I never watched, like Legion and whatever else, Cloak and Dagger, never watched. You had, what was it, the oh shit, what was it, the one with the chick, the woman with the red god awful wig that got canceled when the first season aired. The Inhumans. That. Yeah, it's been pretty much a train wreck. And even the Arrowverse, when it was kicking off, it was critically dominating television. Like, at the time. You got to remember, at the time. The problem with it now is it has not evolved with the times. It's still acting and running as if it was, like, 10 years ago. I think DC, in the by and large, has been dominating the television space for a long time. I also think DC animation does much better than Marvel animation across the board. Invincible Iron Man, nah. Wolverine and the X-Men, nah. X-Men Evolution was alright. I haven't watched any of Earth's Mightiest Heroes though. But I mean, I didn't think I don't personally I don't think Marvel animation had been good since the Spider-Man 90s show and the X-Men 90s show. Like, I never really could get into any of the other things, but I feel like DC animation, DC TV, and DC straight to video was always better than Marvel. But that's me. That's me. But I like DC more than I like Marvel in general, so I'm always going to be a little bit biased when it comes to that. Yeah, I haven't seen a speck of that show. I have seen like images of it, and I really, really don't like the animation style. I don't. Yeah, I've seen images of this, and I don't like the art style. That's one of the main reasons I haven't checked it out for Spectacular Spider-Man. Did I see Master of the Universe Netflix trailer? Your thought? Well, I'll check it out. I mean, Revelations or the other one, the CGI one? Because I mean, I reacted to all of the episodes for Masters of the Universe Revelation. I just saw this hot headline. Marvel's What If joked about having Edward Norton as the Incredible Hulk return for that episode. That would have been funny. Do you think Runaways and Humans Club can come back to the MCU even as a reboot? I mean, as a reboot, possibly. But then again, without a reboot, multiverse. Do you hope they make Wanda a villain? Doctor Strange. Wanda is one of my favorite characters in the MCU, but I think she could be a great villain for a couple years. I think they can go that route. I don't necessarily want to go that route, but we'll see. She would definitely be a formidable villain, and I don't know how they would take her down. Good example of an underrated movie, Scott Pilgrim. Really cool concept, even though I don't know the comic at all. I'll tell you straight out of the comic book. Yeah, it is. It's a very good adaptation. I've got the full colored collection of the actual graphic novels for Scott Pilgrim. Obviously, the full graphic novel is better than in my opinion, still a better story and more fleshed out for obvious reasons than the movie. But the movie did a really great job at summarizing and in some cases enhancing some of the storylines from it. Would you like a live action sitcom with the main DC heroes as the main characters? A sitcom? Probably not. It could work. It would be interesting, but I don't know. It would have to be pitched pretty well, but I don't know. Initially, thinking like a sitcom format but with DC heroes, it's kind of what Legends is, because it's not really a superhero show anymore. Have I seen Psycho Gorman? I have not. That doesn't ring any bells to me. Wolverine the X-Men is something that I grew up on too. I think it was amazing too, but in season 3 would have adapted Age of Apocalypse was one of the best X-Men comic arcs ever. Okay, the CGI of the new Masters. I did. I watched that myself, and yeah, not for me. Definitely not for me. Yeah, no, I will definitely be passing on that one. So yeah, Wanda's powerful, but just get Jean Grey and you're good. Wanda's more powerful than Jean Grey. In the comics, at least. Now, if we're talking Phoenix, that's a different question. But then Phoenix and Wanda are pretty much on equal terms when it comes to the comics. They're both multiversal beings. Do you think Jordan has all the powers now, or that they left at the end of that? I hope that it helped him get a better handle on them. I hope it's not just a temporary thing, but don't know. I hope he still has them. I hope he still has them. What's my favorite sitcoms? Friends is my favorite. Easy. Even going like far back, like a lot of the older ones too. I like Addams Family, like the black and white series. Like I don't really like once they transitioned to color, I felt like something like changed. But it's that I Love Lucy, Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, Munsters. Talking modern stuff, I liked Everybody Loves Raymond. Also, and How I Met Your Mother, but that's about it. And when Phoenix takes over Jean, it's just Phoenix. Jean's gone at that point. How powerful is Wanda? Honestly, her weakness. Who would give her a good match? It's a good question. I mean, honestly, the Phoenix Force is probably her best match. Really think Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch is Feige's Dark Phoenix saga in the MCU. Once we get X-Men, we'll be willing to skip over that arc. I don't think so. I think it's inevitable that we'll eventually get another attempt at the Dark Phoenix saga. I also don't want Wanda to be a villain in the Multiverse of Madness. She was already introduced to MCU as a villain. Then there's a problem that when a woman gets powerful, she goes crazy. That is true. That is true. That is kind of a trope. So we'll just have to see. I also would like for her I'd like for her to just operate for herself. You know, like she does in the comics. She's not necessarily always a hero. Sometimes she's a hero, sometimes she's a villain. She's not always one or the other, but everything she's doing is either for her own benefit, the people she cares about's benefit, or the benefit of the mutant race or whatever. So it's like kind of like sometimes her goals align with the X-Men, sometimes they align with the powers that be. Doctor Strange is the closest to Wanda. I don't believe that. In the MCU right now, yes. But if we're talking like overall lore and everything, I doubt it. One of my favorite live action superheroes on TV. Oliver Queen from Arrow. Barry Allen, Flash, Grant Gustin's Flash. Charlie Cox's Daredevil. I mean, the main leads from all the shows that I already mentioned, pretty much. Bitsy Tulloch is my Lois Lane. She's really grown on me. Really, really, really grown on me. And I think she does a really great job. I don't feel like I've ever really, outside of animation, I've never really had like my live action Lois Lane. I've never really felt like any live action Lois Lane has really felt like Lois Lane. Not in the movies, not in Smallville. I felt like she's the closest to actually feeling like a fleshed out Lois Lane. So I'll give it that. I'll give her that for sure. What's up, Captain J? I think the Dark Phoenix will not be skipped over. It's one of those motion. Can somebody give me a quick origin analysis of the Phoenix? I don't know how it works. It's an entity in space. How is it formed? Well, it's an it. I don't know. I don't really remember what created the Phoenix Force. It exists in fragments across the multiverse, and it's connected to a being, a version of itself that presides among the entire multiverse while fragments of it exist within each world. It's this really complicated thing, man. The Phoenix Force, just look up Phoenix Force and look into that, because there's a couple of different origins for it as well. Not just based on actors. Please rank my favorite Superman. Live action or everything? If we're talking live action, like Tyler Hoechlin went from the bottom of the list to the top with Superman and Lois. He's my favorite Superman now. Then it would be Christopher Reeve, Henry Cavill, Brandon Routh, and I guess by default George Reeve. But yeah. Oh yeah, Welling. Tom Welling would also be above Brandon Routh. Below Henry Cavill, above Henry Routh. God, Brandon Routh. Damn it. Doom Patrol greater than Legends? Well, duh, Sean. Duh. Reeves, Welling, Cavill, Hoechlin. I think Hoechlin combines the elements of Henry Cavill and Reeves to the point where I just think he's the perfect Superman now at this point. Maybe not perfect, ideally. Like look-wise, you could still say whatever you want to say about it, but I think he embodies every other aspect more than even they did individually. The Phoenix Force was sum total of all energy in the universe and multiverse or something. Kinda. Not really. Good thing the fragments are separated. Hope Summers did well against Wanda, but she's way too complicated. I think the most powerful person in the Marvel continuity is what's his name? Shit. Reed Richards' son. Franklin, that's it. I think Franklin is the most powerful character in everything. Obviously above the source, the presence, the one above all, and all that jazz. Seeing Candyman tonight. Do I need to rewatch the first one? Do you think to understand it? Haven't watched it in years. I think it tells you enough of what you need to know in the film. I think you'll be fine. Cause I read about the first movie again. I reread the whole plot of it before going into it, and I got through it just fine. I rewatched it, however, last night because I'm still fucking confused about things in the movie. So I don't think it's necessary watching it. I just think it's like good to watch. You forgot about Living Tribunal. Rank live action Lois Lanes. I don't even know all the actresses' names. As far as names go, I only remember Erica Durance, Amy Adams, and Bitsy Tulloch. And I would put Bitsy, Amy Adams, Erica Durance. To be honest, if someone adapted Superman Birthright, then I will say it's the best modern Superman story. Birthman's a good one. Birthman. Birthright. Birthman. Is a good story. Yes. Lois is the best I've seen. She's strong, smart, and she speaks. There's weight behind it, and there's always... Yeah, man. 100%. What do you mean, eh? He's a canon character. And eh. I can say eh. Duh. Saying and doesn't, like, make him not real. I don't know what the hell why you're hanging on to that. Why Erica Durance Lois is not my favorite. She never seemed strong-willed. She always felt spoiled and annoying. She was just annoying in general all the time. I just never felt she was written very well. She was just kind of a prissy brat, and that was her entire character to me. She was hot. She's probably the hottest, but that's it. That's all she got for me. I don't think she was ever really written all that well. I wonder when Superman Lois is going to be on HBO Max. Not too sure, but at least for now, you can stream it for free on CW, assuming that you're in a region that has access to it. Usually it's like a month or just a couple weeks after the season wraps up that it usually ends up on streaming with Netflix, so I'm sure it's going to be the same deal for HBO. I just don't know when that'll actually be or if there's like a difference for it. But I expect it'll be within the next week or two that it'll be on there. And to be fair, I haven't seen Lois and Clark. I haven't really watched that show, so I can't speak on that Lois Lane. Yeah, it's not on there yet. It's not on HBO Max yet. September 17th on HBO Max. Nice. That's not too bad. I mean, it just wrapped up a week or two ago. That falls kind of in line with that. It's a little late, but yeah. Like when it comes to Smallville, man, like the way it was written, he had way more chemistry with Chloe. He had way more chemistry with Lana. It was so much to the point where I was like, man, let's hope they don't, please, I hope they don't force the, I was getting to the point where I was like, I hope they don't have Lois and Clark get together just because in the comics, but of course they did, because I was just like, I never, ever felt their chemistry either. Have you heard? Yeah, Chloe is also, she was like my crush in that show, Chloe, but that has forever been ruined by all these revelations about Allison Mack herself. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's the hottest. She's definitely the finest Lois. And she plays Kara's mother in Supergirl currently. when she shows up. She hasn't popped in the show for a minute, but do you think Superman and Lois will go to HBO Max for the second season? It's not going to officially, it will not become an official HBO only show. Highly doubt that. I really like Smallville, but they had some bad acting and really bad writing. And I gotta say, like, a lot of it is nostalgia based. I mean, a lot of people have great fond feelings about Smallville, especially when you talk about the Arrowverse. If you really go back and you watch it, in a lot of ways, it is so much worse than a lot of things that happen in the Arrowverse. Not everything, but a lot of the drama is very typical Arrowverse stuff. So it's like, I think people were just like getting some feelings mixed up sometimes with what they remember of the show versus what is actually in the show. I love Lois and Clark. I could watch it again, honestly. Yeah, I've only seen bits and pieces of Lois and Clark. I've never actually watched, I don't think I've ever watched actually a full episode, to be honest. You think we'll have a new Avengers movie, or will it just leave it to big events? Those movies that don't fit into the category will be replaced by other teams like A-Force and Young Avengers. No, I think we will 100% get an Avengers movie eventually. Kevin Feige even said as much. It will just be quite a long ways away before we actually do. How is that Kara's mother still looks better than her when she is like maybe in her 50s Earthwise? Huh? What? I don't know what you mean, Vexiden. What's up, Anne? Shout out to Norway. I really want to go to Norway sometime. Really do. Welling's acting is a roller coaster of acting ability. Is that a good thing? Is that a good comment? Or no? One thing that always distracted me in Smallville is all of the makeup that they put on Tom Welling. Like, it always distracted me in every episode is how much makeup was on him. Were you surprised with who they brought into the 5-episode crossover? I was surprised they bring in Mia. Yeah, honestly, I think that was the biggest surprise to me, was that Mia Queen would be coming back. Let me see if I can find it. I don't remember the whole list. I'm also surprised that they officially announced it. I guess they knew it was going to leak one way or the other if they tried to keep it secret. But to just kind of, here's all of our gang. Here's everybody that's showing up. Damian Dark coming back. And Reverse Flash. Well, I'm not surprised by that, but I don't know how they're going to be involved with an alien invasion. But Ryan Choi and Ray coming in, maybe the mantle will officially be passed to Ryan Choi now. Because that's the one question I've had since Crisis is like, man, they really dropped that Ryan Choi plotline hard. Man, really hard. But the one that's got me the most excited, though, and I'll be honest, is like, I just want to see more Barry Allen and Black Lightning together. Have I talked about Star Wars? A little bit. We haven't talked too much about it. What do you have a topic in mind? Spill. Between Tom Welling and Tyler Hoechlin, who do you think is a better actor for Clark and Superman? As an actor, from what I've seen of them, Tyler Hoechlin acts circles around Tom Welling. I love Tom Welling, but I don't think he's that great of an actor. I just don't think he's got a lot of range. Not in anything I've seen him in. And I'm not going to say I've seen him in a bunch of things. I think I've only seen him in like 3 things total outside of Smallville. But Tyler Hoechlin's got range just in this show alone. And I can't wait to see Damian again. Which, you know, he died in Legends. So I'm wondering, like, how this comes in. Because some of these characters are in and out of different points in time. So what's going on? What's up with that? Got a lot of questions about all that. Plus, I just like Neil McDonough, man. He's just like, he's one of those guys who pops up all over the place, and it's always nice to see him like choose some scenery with a good role. And while I don't think his character was a good fit for Arrow, tonally, I think he really worked in Legends, and I think he works really well playing off of other characters. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him come back. Wonder if they do have the Lex Luthor from Supergirl and Superman and Lois. How would they do it? Well, the showrunner and the writers are talking about bringing him in, and they're looking forward to working with him or putting him into the show. The reason, again, that they haven't touched any of the Supergirl characters in the first season, according to the showrunner, is because it could potentially spoil the final season of Supergirl by even just mentioning them, apparently. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because a lot of them have mentioned they're really excited to work with John Cryer. And John Cryer, I think he's a really good Lex. Not my favorite Lex, but he's definitely up there. Now, one thing I will forever praise about Smallville is I think Smallville has the best live-action Lex Luthor. Michael Rosenbaum, I haven't seen a Lex to top it, to me. Do you rate the recent Marvel shows higher than the DC TV shows of the past? From what we've seen of them, most of them, yeah, I would. It's hard to compare them too, because a lot of them are just like 6 episodes. So it's hard to compare them too, because a lot of the previous DC shows are your regular TV budget shows. It's like not even a fair or correct comparison to draw comparisons between them most of the time. But purely like talking about whether or not they have a better budget, better writers, whatever, like, yeah, the writing's better, the production's better, the acting's better. Yeah, for sure. Even the story, well, I would say some of the times the stories are better. Do you think Peter in the Homecoming tells MJ who he is, or do you think that he will not? Thoughts? I hope someone knows besides the heroes. Oh, after? I hope so. I hope that they don't all forget who he is after the wish and everything. Sorry if it's been answered, but where do you think Superman and Lois is on the timeline? Does the lack of them in the Flash crossover make you think it's in the future at all? Actually, I think it's actually lagging behind the other shows. I got 2 points of evidence for that. Well, actually, one. The Kara thing, the lack of mentioning Kara, and the John Diggle episode. Chronologically, John Diggle's appearance in Superman and Lois, even though it aired after his appearance in Batwoman and The Flash, chronologically, John Diggle's episode in Superman and Lois is the oldest point in that timeline for him. When John Diggle shows up in Superman and Lois, he has not yet been to Gotham or Central City yet. So remember that. The John Diggle episode, episode 12 of Superman and Lois, it takes place prior to him showing up in Batwoman and Flash's episodes. Even though those 2 episodes aired long before that Superman and Lois episode, chronologically, that's his first appearance. Which is why I kind of think that Kara is not mentioned, because that's during the month or however long that she was trapped in the Phantom Zone. That's my guess, is that all of that whole debacle is happening while Supergirl is still trapped in the Phantom Zone. That's my guess. How I feel about Dreamer. She is now in the comics too. I like her. I think she's really good. I like her character. Like her powers are pretty interesting. And I like Nicole Maines. I think she does a really good job in it. So I think it's cool seeing some of these characters transition into the comic books. You heard Cobra Kai is renewed for a season 5 already, and season 4 hasn't even come out yet. Yeah, man, I did, and I'm excited. So I'm pretty excited to see how that goes. I can't wait for sure. I think we'll get F4 in 2024, and then maybe an Avengers 5 in 2025. It's possible. Dean Cain's superpower is blocking people on Twitter. Well, that's what happens when you voice your political opinions. People aren't going to like them, especially when you say some shitty shit. When's the crossover? I stopped watching the Arrowverse after Arrow ended. It will be... Flash comes back in, what, November? I think. November 16th will be the first episode of the 5-part special titled Armageddon. Tom Welling's Superman is beloved as Toby Spider-Man for me. No. I think Toby's on a higher level for me personally than Tom Welling's Superman. Spider-Man's my second favorite superhero of all time, so yeah, he's got an easy win right there in his hands. Michael Rosenbaum is by far the best Lex. Don't think it's even close. I agree with you. I do. I think Gene Hackman is a really good Golden Age Lex Luthor adaptation, but like as far as what I consider the iconic Lex, like the all-encompassing Lex, it's Michael Rosenbaum. If you could pick 5 characters or teams from Marvel or DC to have a game, which would it be? I would choose Titans, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Wonder Woman, Superman. I would really love a Superman game that's not flying through rings, so I'm going to go with that. A Wonder Woman game could be very much like a God of War game. I think you could definitely, it wouldn't be too hard or far off to make that. I would love a Teen Titans game. I would love an X-Men game. Fantastic Four, I will probably put a little bit of a pass on. But if I had to pick another group or character, let's do a Deathstroke game where we're the bad guy and we're taking on these merc or assassination missions. Make it kind of like a blend of Assassin's Creed and Hitman. Do that. Suicide Squad could also be pretty good. Yes, I think I've talked about Hondo. If Hondo is to show up in live action, what series will he appear in? I would love to see Hondo in live action. I would really, really love that. Sorry if I type incorrectly. I do not write English every day. It's perfectly fine. Do not worry. I know we got people in here from all over the world. If you struggle with it, if I just ask you to maybe try to re-clarify something, I just hope that you don't get upset or offended or anything like that. But I'm just a ignorant American. I know my language and that's it. I applaud the fact that you can do both. So I think Hondo has the best chance of showing up in Ahsoka. I would really, really like that. I would really like to see him pop up in the Ahsoka show. Maybe even in Kenobi. Because he would be in that seedy world during that time, during the trying to dodge the Empire and all of that. Having him pop up in Mos Eisley or Mos Espa would just make sense. Especially if you just have Obi-Wan going out to market just to get some food and go back to his hut or anything like that. That's a perfect place for him to run into Hondo. And just like I was with Ahsoka, just going out there in the world, it would definitely make sense for him to pop up in Boba Fett. It would make... I think there's a lot of places... Hondo is one of those characters you can just have pop up anywhere, and it would kind of make sense. Book of Boba Fett makes sense. He's getting into leading the underworld. Makes sense that Hondo might show up or be somebody that he's working with or working for. The Mandalorian works with all kinds of seedy people, so it just makes sense for him to... He could pop up in Mandalorian Season 3. Who knows? But yeah, I would love to see Hondo come in. He's like a character that I've really fallen in love with. So I would love that. Yeah, and if you got anything for me, let me know. And join our Discord. Come hang out. I know English isn't your strong suit, but might be some practice for you. I told you that season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has Ghost Rider, the Darkhold, and an alternate world where Hydra rules and is led by evil Fitz. Would you be convinced to give it another shot? I know all of those things except for the alternate world. I didn't know about that. But I might eventually. I do plan on revisiting it at some point. Kind of like as I also plan to eventually watch Stranger Things and eventually watch Umbrella Academy. I'll get to it at some point. But yeah, I'll watch it eventually. I just wasn't motivated to devote my life to watching it. Now that it's kind of over, it's a lot easier to go back and binge something. Like, it was still actively airing, and I didn't feel like keeping up with it. And then I just never went back because I obviously got a little too far behind. Do you think CW will try to cross over Powerpuff Girls in the Airverse? I hope not. But with everything going on with that show, I would not be surprised if they just cancel the show after one of the leads just dropped out of the whole package. They had to reissue the whole thing. Fuck if I know, man. I don't have high hopes for that show. Would I do a collab with Paigey? Maybe. I'd be down. I'm always open to looking at places to collab. I know he talks a lot about the Airverse. I don't watch all of his videos, but I know for like news and stuff, he's like one of the go-to places for the Airverse. So yeah, I'd be down. What are my thoughts on season 9 of Smallville? I'll be honest, I don't remember much of season 9. The last couple of seasons all kind of blended together for me. So you might have to like remind me what actually happened in season 9. I'm glad you brought up that Diggle makes sense on Superman Lois was his first appearance. Exactly, because that's like, it's kind of it's the progression, right? So we know he got the ring at the end of Arrow season 8. He shows up after having moved to Metropolis to help them, and he's like, I'm done with this superhero stuff. I thought I was done with capes and all this stuff. I don't want nothing to do with this. Don't call me. Bye. Get some headaches. Goes to Gotham, checking out the headaches. Oh, what's going on? You know, gives this speech to, wow, why am I blanking? I just want to say Cameras Johnson. Anyway, to Cameras, to motivate him to become Batwing. Then he shows up in the Flash, and he's like, okay, I've been putting this shit off for too long. He's getting these headaches. He's hearing voices from across the galaxy. The headaches, he's getting these headaches from the rejection of the calling, which is why he went to Gotham, is to get his head scanned by Gotham, because they had the best neurosurgeons, so they checked him out. His brain's fine. And then he comes to term in the Flash that he's just gotta face this thing, accept this destiny, or at least face it. So it's like you can see the groundwork. So when I was watching it, him going back on everything he had just said in those 2 episodes of the other shows, it just didn't make any sense. Like looking at it in that pattern. So that's definitely what I think was going on there. They haven't confirmed that, but I think it is so apparent about that. Yeah. Favorite superhero of all time is Batman. I would love a Flash game. A Flash game would be super cool. Hard to do without making like a Sonic the Hedgehog clone. But it would definitely be, I'd be curious about how they would make that work. Doesn't interest me if Ghost Rider ain't Johnny Blaze. And then no, the Darkhold was a joke and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra rule in the world. Just read the Secret Empire again. I mean, I think it's interesting enough. And I mean, I don't have like a strong opinion one way or another like Vexington here, but yeah. Do you think Red Hood and the Outlaws spinoff is possible? The show is overcrowded and I'm not sure if it's popular enough to earn a spinoff. Maybe, but like you said, I don't think it would do well if it did spin off. I don't think the show's doing it as strong. I don't think the show's doing strong enough to warrant a spinoff, but that's just me. Who knows? Season 3 could turn things around. Spidey is second best. Who's my number 1? Is it Bob? Mine are Batman, Spidey. Mine's Batman, Spider-Man. Those are my 2. Superman has easily become my number 3 over the past couple years. I used to be one of those kids. It's like, Superman's so boring. As I get older, I've learned to appreciate that character so much. Dick Grayson's, I think, my Either my third or fourth. Him or Superman are kind of interchangeable depending on my mood. Fantastic Four, Four Stick, Rise of the Fan Joystick, the movie, and the game. Ew. Ew, Marcus. Favorite suit in the Arrowverse, or even DC TV in general. If we're talking just suits, I think the Nightwing suit in Titans is actually probably one of the better ones. And like I've always said, I don't like the characterization. I don't like the writing. I don't like the storyline so far in Titans, the first two seasons of Titans. But one thing I always praised about the show is I think they did really good on the castings. And I think they did really good with the costumes. That was it. What non-Marvel comic and or DC comics? What non-Marvel comic DC comics would I want? Games that can consist of Skybound comics, Dark Horse comics, Image comics, and Valiant comics. Man, I don't know. Probably, I mean, I just want a good, I just want another good Ninja Turtles game, man. Give me that. Give me that and I'll be happy. Imagine a CW's Powerpuff Girls show if they actually had it with the best budget. I still think it'd be weird. It's possible, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. The premise, especially considering what's going on, it's like rough. Have I watched Vikings? I have not, but I've been very curious about that show, and I've heard a lot of really good things about it. Smallville season 9 was the one with Zod. What are your thoughts? And please tell us your favorite seasons of the show. I haven't seen all of Smallville, and I've said that before. My favorite season is probably 2 or 3. But I do remember the whole Zod thing. And the whole Neil thing they brought back. It was okay. It was a little hokey. I never liked the people being resurrected through other people's bodies shtick. But it is what it is for the show. It was alright. It was okay. I don't remember enough about it to really care too much or give a strong opinion one way or another. But yeah. Powerpuff Girls could be a Cartoon Network shared universe in live action, but considering the leaked script. Speaking of that, what you just said, wouldn't it be way more interesting and maybe even more budget friendly to do like a darker, angsty, like Dexter's Lab? You could do some like technological horror elements in there, because I know that's what they love to do with their dark and gritty Archie stuff, with their dark and gritty Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Like, fuck, man, give us dark Dexter's Laboratory. That would be cool. I think you could do that, and you could do that on a cheap budget, and that would be fun. You wouldn't have to worry about all the superpowers. Now, if you get into the mech fights that they did in the cartoon, that would be a little rough, but yeah. And then for you guys, let me just... grab that. Yeah, if you're not already, come join the Discord so we can chat and hang out. Oh, shit. Jason Marbach. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for that super chat, man. Love your content, amigo. I started reading Why the Last Man by Brian Vaughan. While there are some dated aspects like that ugly pejorative a few times, I really like it. Have I read it? And thoughts? I have never read it. I know loosely what Why the Last Man is and is about. I know they're making a show about it. I think someone is. But I don't really know too much about it aside from the basic premise. I've never read it or seen anything on it. But I'm curious about what they're going to do with it, considering. Because I know it's one of those things I've always heard people talk about, but I've never actually checked it out. Similarly with Dune. So it's going to be one of those. So I'm very curious, and I'm definitely open to checking things out for it. The new Stephen Amell TV show Heels is great. Please watch it and make a review about it. Once it's all out, I will probably watch it and give my thoughts on it. Because I've watched the trailers and I'm really interested in the show. I'll just have to get stars and check it out once it's on there. I just thought a Walking Dead game with the game of Last of Us and adapting season 1 or 2 or the comics and make it story driven, get the actors to voice the characters. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I think Telltale really nailed it with the whole story driven aspects of the Walking Dead universe. Because I had a blast with those games. I think the best suits are between Nightwing from Titans, season 6/7, Flash's suit, and Arrow's suit from season 8, Superman's suit from Superman and Lois. Yeah, I definitely agree with all of those. For sure. For sure, Sean. Oh. Aw. And Lisa Erga. Thank you so much for that. For the little, what is that, a pear? Pear and a lemon and a lime? What even is that currency? Holy crap. Okay, I was like, holy shit, what is that? I know a conversion rate's going to have to go into here. And no, it's not 200 US. Don't worry. But thank you, Anne, so much. That's still a huge super chat. Thank you so much. And I like that little animation there. It's adorable. And Heels is really good. I mean, I don't feel like I need to tell people. You can Google it. It's $23 US. Still, that's way more than I really expect from anybody. I don't expect anything at all, but like, gosh. Damn. Just joined your Discord. Well, awesome, Nicholas. Awesome. Your name in there is Dominique. That's the hard thing about like people popping into the Discord and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like really hard to figure out or remember who's who, because sometimes the names are always different compared to what shows up on YouTube. Was Candyman long? It's actually shorter than the first Candyman. I think it's only an hour and 30 minutes long. The original Candyman was an hour and 40 something minutes. So yeah. But yeah, and if you join the Discord, come hang out. I got a Star Wars channel. If you got any questions, anything you want to ask about that, because I know we're still a little dry on Star Wars content for right now, come hang out. And again, thank you for that. Hey, Sheeta. Shouldn't you be spending that on drinks at the pool? I appreciate that, though. Thank you, Sheena, for the super chat. I am still on. It's 2.5 hours. It's not too bad. I don't really have too many huge plans at the moment, but yeah, man. Thank you. Ray Palmer, Atom, or Ant-Man? Who would I choose and why? If the Atom movie, you think it would do better than Ant-Man movies? Right now, hell no. I don't think an Atom movie would do well right now, especially if you compared it to an Ant-Man movie. It just doesn't have the legs or the name recognition that Ant-Man now has. For me personally, I think I would like an Ant-Man movie than a Ray Palmer Atom movie, personally, because it's just more fun that way. Ray Palmer's a little bit more of a, I don't know. I don't know, man. After Paul Rudd and all that stuff, the MCU, I'm just got more fondness for Ant-Man versus Atom. Atom's a little meh to me overall, even though I like Ray as a character more than I do as Atom. Thank you, Lucky, for the super chat. We got a Mephisto train going in here, our little Mephisto followers. What if that is Agatha and not Doctor Strange casting the spell in No Way Home? The eye wink brought me here. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't know how she would get out of Wanda's spell, though. That'd be the big question, I think. I feel as someone charted $500. What? Chatted $500? I would probably shit myself. Even preparing me for the Mandalorian episodes. Anytime. See, I don't know if I read your reply yet. So I'm assuming you were on edge about whether or not to watch The Mandalorian at all until you saw the reactions to it. And understandably so. Like, I definitely get that. And I would love to know your thoughts on it if you get through it, if you start it, and find out how you feel about it going into it. Make sure you join the Discord. Everybody, if you're in here and you're not in the Discord, what are you doing? Need to get it more active. That's cool. See my first appearance. Well, I'll watch Visions in sub or dub. For the reactions, for the benefit and the ease of watching the reactions, it will be in dub. I just think that's logically the one that makes sense, because the way I have to frame the video, it's going to cut off some of the subtitles. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, if you're watching a reaction video, to also have to read what's in the reaction. And I know people do that with anime a lot, but I just feel like it's easier and more convenient for people to watch the reaction in the dub format, which it will be the first way I watch it, but I will be watching it in the sub format in my personal time as well, because I would prefer the sub over the dub in this case. I just think it's more convenient for the reaction's sake to do it like that. Really like your content. Amazing stuff. Thank you, Advent. Yeah, I never watched Cage Ghostfire. Did you see any of the other movies from last week now that you have your car? I have not. I haven't gone out and caught up on those movies from last week. I've heard fantastic things about The Night House. I've heard not good things about The Reminiscence. And I haven't heard anything about The Protege except that it was all right. What time is it in your location? I'm not from America. What time is it there? For me, right now, it is 6:28 p.m. I know a Punisher is being avoided in general right now, but I don't like it. Yeah, I get it. And I hate that the Punisher is kind of suffering at the hands of that, because it's not really the fault of the series itself. It's just the use of the emblem has kind of drawn some unfortunate backlash in that direction, which I get. But it sucks, because I would love to see some more Punisher, especially if we could, with all this multiverse stuff, that we could get John Bernthal back. It'd be great to see Madam Spider in the MCU. I think we will eventually, because or maybe not in the MCU, because Sony is doing a Madam Spider movie, which I don't know how that's going to work, but they're doing a Madam Spider film over at Sony, so we'll see how that goes. But whether or not we'll see her in the MCU be another question. Might likely add more characters along the way. Madam Web. Yeah, Madam Web, I think, is actually who he meant to say. Do you think Willem Dafoe will become the Iron Patriot, the leader of the Dark Avengers? Then maybe, but he's definitely Green Goblin from when we're seeing him in this. And I don't know for certain that this version will stay in the MCU. It might just be for this movie, because Sony still owns the rights to that character. So I don't know. It all just depends. I doubt it, though. I doubt that Willem Dafoe will be anything more than just Green Goblin for this appearance. Protege was pretty good. I think a setup for that would be too large. and complex for an already dense and complex universe. I don't want to stay for that long in the MCU. I agree with that. I can agree with you on that one. I don't know that Willem Dafoe needs to have a prolonged stay in the MCU personally. Sarah of Arrow versus Bruce Batman fighting. Only you think it would be quick? Oh yeah, I think Batman could wipe the floor with Sarah. Dub is the right call for Visions. The voice cast, yeah. Oh shit, that's another good reason. The voice cast that they got for the dub is actually pretty freaking good. Jordan Fisher is getting to be a Jedi this time around, and plus Tamara Morrison as playing Boba Fett. George Takei. So many great voice actors are going to be in this. So I was just like, I want to hear those voices too, and I think it'll be fun for that reason. Either way. Plus, there's tons of Star Wars fans who will watch the reactions who aren't fellow weebs. Exactly. Most people that I've seen reacting and commenting on the Star Wars Vision stuff typically haven't been a lot of fans of anime in general, but they're willing to check this out. Did you hear a few heroes that are in the crossover are like their goodbye to the Arrowverse? That's why Superman and Stargirl aren't there. I hope that's not the case for all of them. Ray's makes sense because that's got that the first Adam and then the second Adam, because Ray and Ryan Choi are both in it. So I feel like that will be that, because he didn't really have that in Legends. I hope it's not a goodbye for Sentinel, and Chris Williams said he'll come back because he just loves playing the character. So I think if anything they need, anytime they need like a storyline to have Black Lightning in it, I'm sure he'll show up, but we'll see. I hope not. I think it's just to do with the timeline or something, but we'll see. It's a shame that because of anything, Punisher would have been Proud Boys at the top of the list. Yep. Green Goblin to the Marvel owns the right to Norman Osborn, Iron Patriot, so I guess Dafoe can be both. They don't... The character of Norman Osborn is Marvel. Iron Patriot, though, Marvel owns. Sony has Green Goblin and Norman Osborn. For film, for live-action medium. One of the stories is in Visions is getting a manga. We don't know which it is, but I hope it's the samurai one. I think one of them is also getting a novel, like a tie-in novel to one of the shorts. And I also forget which one it is. So I'm curious, Anne, I don't know if you're still in there or not, but what had been holding you off from checking out The Mandalorian? I'm curious if it's like most people's, who's just kind of not been digging the Disney era all that much. I'm just curious. I sent my friend Jacob a reaction to Spider-Man at Home if you like to watch it. I haven't had a time to check any of that, so I have not seen it just yet. One of the stories in Visions is getting long. Okay, I already read that one. Looks like I'm actually caught up for once. And thank you guys so much for all the super chats today. Holy crap. You guys are too kind to me sometimes. And I don't really feel like I deserve it a lot of the time. I appreciate you guys a lot. I do. My Hero anime is really a bad adaptation. Like most recent episodes try to adapt 7 chapters in one episode. I haven't watched. I've seen one episode of My Hero Academia, and that is it. I haven't watched anything more than that, and it wasn't because I thought the first episode was bad or anything like that. It was just like I don't know. I just wasn't motivated all that much at the time to continue. 7 chapters and 20 minutes. I don't know. Like, I don't read it. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, all this will eventually, the plan is to get an editor. I'm currently talking with one, and we'll see how it goes about getting somebody to help me edit. And like the super chats, the memberships, the Patreon and the YouTube memberships all are going towards the hopes and goals of me getting some help with putting these videos together for you guys, so I can try to do more, as well as free up some of the time that I have, because like I'm on certain days during the week, and I'm sure you guys know which days of the week, I'm borderline killing myself. And I can't take it. I'm getting too old for this shit at this point, for how little sleep I get most of the time anymore. How can I upload images on your Discord? I want to show you images from Marvel. Hold on. I might have to change a permissions thing. That's great to find out. I don't have the permissions active all the way. So I updated the Gaming General channel. See if you can share it there. See if it lets you upload there, Nicholas. Do you know Toby's Spider-Man made a killing in the movies? One first and last one of the tickets was sold out. On the third one, it was tough to get a ticket. I watched, despite anyone's feelings on the third Spider-Man movie, I think I saw it 3 times in theaters. So I probably contributed to that a little bit. What if All in the No Way Home is a vision of what could have happened if Doctor Strange does that spell, showing Peter the consequences, and it's like a Final Destination vision? That would be such a cop-out. That would piss so many people off. I feel like, hope at least one of the Vision stories gets pulled into full canon and adapted by beyond Visions. That would be cool. I was curious about that, like how these would play into the canon, but then they confirmed, obviously, that they weren't going to be canon, so that they could do whatever they want without any restrictions, which makes me wonder what they're going to do with Boba Fett. I'm looking forward to that, though. Either way, I'm definitely excited for it, because it just gives them more ability to get some more style into it, to do something fresh and different. I'm trying to make sure I'm in order again. Okay, I think I'm okay. Nicholas does Future Revolution co-op. I need to look into this Future Revolution thing. What the fuck is it? As long as it's not another gotcha mobile game, I might check it out. He's gonna get gray hairs by the time he's 30. I'm 33, dude, and I found what, I think two more gray hairs in the last 3 weeks. Those also haven't been my first either. Then again, I think I found my first gray hair when I was 25. I managed to post the images now. Put my character on there. I chose Storm. Oh, hot damn. Storm looking good. So, like, I don't understand. Like, what do you do? That's too much to ask you guys over the chat. So I'll have to look into this game here in a minute. Repost if balls itch. What the fuck, Cody? Anyway. We got Disney Plus a year ago. The last episode came out just before Christmas. This year, I've seen all of the Clone Wars. Is that the first time you've watched the Clone Wars? Was through Disney Plus? I'm so convinced that Mephisto is going to factor into No Way Home. I hope that isn't too spoilery. Nothing in the trailer actively reveals anything like that. Well, not actively. There are a couple things you could easily interpret. Just like with everything up to this point. And the fact that is yet another, the second adaptation of a storyline that in the comics heavily relies on Mephisto to be brought into the MCU. Like, it's easy to make that connection, but I'm curious to see. I don't think they'll actually lean into it a little bit more. I think it'll be somebody other than Mephisto, but we'll see. You think Gwen Stacy shall Bridges in Spider-Man movies makes me nervous? I think everything will be. I think we'll be okay. I get it about Bridges and Spider-Man though, but I think we'll be okay. Managed to post the images now. Okay, I just read that one. I have strong thoughts about Doctor Strange and how he acts in the trailer, but I don't want to veer too off into spoiler territory. Let me know if it's okay. Go ahead. I mean, if it's just a theory, just theorize away, buddy. Mephisto is going to show up to the party if we keep wanting him to show up in the MCU. Am I Jughead 2.0? Sure? Question mark? Do I have any worries about the multiverse in the MCU? Like they are saying, what if is canon? So if everything is canon, then there is no canon. Very slippery slope, in my opinion. That's always kind of been the danger of the multiverse in general, back when it was introduced in the comics and all that stuff too. But yeah, you're right. But it just depends on how they stick to the logic of the singular timelines that we continue to follow. Aside from that, it's all keeping things separated. Yes, Annalise. Okay, awesome. What did you think of Clone Wars? What did you, I definitely recommend The Mandalorian. I know you've been holding off on it. I definitely recommend checking it out. I would probably recommend watching Star Wars Rebels as well, before season 2 of The Mandalorian, personally, but it's not necessary. But I would definitely recommend those. So yeah, check those out, and I would love to know your thoughts. It's Jordan Elsass's birthday today. Well, happy birthday, Jonathan Kent. It's an open world, and there is no strategy picking like characters. You can just fight enemies without turns. I'll have to look into it. When Tobey's Spider-Man third film ending and Tobey and MJ, did you like it? Your thoughts? What? Rephrase that, John, please. I'm not I'm not sounding rude. I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. Not actively. Huge wink. Do I have a Ghostface mask? I do not. Have you seen those collectors that have all of them? The collar ones are cool. Yeah, no. The collar ones I don't like. I mean, I like things as they are meant to be. I'm a stickler for accuracy. So like anything that's like a creative expression of something, if like as far as a collector's piece go, I like them to be like right on. So I've seen some of the people that have like a lot of the different killer masks and stuff like that. So like I'm curious to see. I do not have my own Ghostface mask though, but you can get those every Halloween. The Ghostface mask is just a generic Halloween mask. That's one of the reasons they could use it so much, because they just pulled something off. They had a likeness rights issue with Halloween, so they had to like tweak that William Shatner mask to make it non-recognizable. So like it's like it is what it is. I don't even know where I was going with that. I feel like I just veered around in a weird way around whatever I just said. Jared Leto is actually a vampire. There, I said it. I don't think you're wrong. Most rewatchable DC TV season. As Flash season 2 or Superman and Lois or Stargirl? Most rewatchable? I'll be honest. I can't tell you of one I've actually really rewatched all the way through. except for Arrow season 1. Probably season 1 of The Flash, actually. I still want to know how MJ would have been in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not only was Peter graduating, he was picking up college, which is when MJ is introduced. Missing opportunity. Me too, man. And I would have been more than happy for a Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3. But yeah, the reception to that movie was well warranted, in my opinion. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a bit of a train wreck, but I was still on board to see where they would go later. I don't think one bad movie necessarily should constitute the death of a franchise or anything like that, but yeah. I know they had a lot of other plans. The MCU was creeping in. They decided to reboot it. But yeah, it's interesting how that whole thing came about. I have the full Ghostface costume, mask, and outfit. Hell yeah, man. Oh. I feel like they could have a lot more standalone Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. I hope so. They have not renewed his contract after this movie, which is also kind of concerning. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope he continues to be Spider-Man for a long time. And with the multiverse, we can see all the other Spider-Man have their own continuations too, assuming they get to come into it all. The theory is this. Doctor Strange has had strong characterization established in his arc from the movie from Infinity War and Endgame. By Endgame, he's very serious, responsible steward of reality, and something in his actions, mannerisms in the trailer just hit wrong. See, if he isn't being controlled or the influence somehow, if they just revert him back to a cavalier, glib, arrogant dude, I feel like the only answer is there is flat out bad writing. I don't think so. I mean, even in Endgame and Infinity War, I wouldn't say he's serious or responsible. He just played the long game. He's still gambling on everybody's lives. He's still arrogant. He's still everything that he has been. He is more responsible, that's for sure, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's bad writing. I would just say it's like I've said, it's a memory spell. He's not tampering with time. He shouldn't be tampering with the multiverse, because all he wants to do is erase people's memories. He's not altering events, from what we've learned. So, like, I just feel like it should be an easy do. However, he has Peter yelling in his ear, constantly talking. He's inside the spell circle. Peter could be the interference. Like, it just makes sense to me that with everything that's gone on, everything that's happened, this should be something he could easily do, and Peter fucks it up. It's not really him messing it up. I think if Peter had been resolute in his decision, it would have blown over just fine. But Peter was changing he was in the spell circle. He was yelling at Doctor Strange. He was constantly changing his intention with the wish or spell or whatever, however it works. And he fucks it up. Clone Wars. Hold up. Sorry for not. I have a theory that they were going to kill off Tom Holland in this movie and make room for Miles Morales. I thought that might happen too. And one thing that I questioned before, because based on when we saw Homecoming, like, he was still pretty young, Miles Morales, in that universe, but if he was not dusted, he would also be 5 years older, so he would be closer to Tom Holland's age now. So if they wanted to, they could introduce him in some way. Clone Wars was on my TV years ago, but I did not see it then. I have seen everything Star Wars now. I love Hondo and Rebels too. Hope he shows up in every show. Yeah, me too, man. I think Hondo's a fun character. I love seeing a lot of those characters. Rebels, like, I was very kind of iffy about in the beginning, but it really grew on me as I went throughout. And by the end of it, I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed a lot of the characters. And I'm really excited for the Ahsoka show, because that's supposed to be continuing where Rebels left off, from what I understand at least. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go. Could be an evil Strange, since he's supposed to be appearing in one of the what ifs. Yeah, I do think there is two Stranges in the trailer. I just don't think that the evil Strange is the one casting the spell. I think that's our Strange. But I think there is a different Strange that is chasing Peter. Have I seen Manifest? God friended me. Resident Alien. I haven't heard of any of those things. About Tom Holland Spider-Man, I just hope he gets out of school one day. We'll see. We'll see if he ever graduates. Before No Way Home's trailer, I have so many questions. After the No Way trailer, I have so many questions. He is buried in a grave just beside him. Well, that's tackling back onto something. What? Anyway. He's definitely still arrogant for sure, but to risk all of reality on selfish whims of it. That's why I don't think it's the wish. I don't think it's the spell that cracked the reality. I just don't think it's what he did that breaks it. I think it's going to be something else. And that it just lines up at the timing of the spell. But it's just a guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And whims of an immature teen. It's not really the whims of an immature teen. This is like life-shattering. He's a friend. He's a colleague. He's somebody beneath him. He would be more than... he's an underling at that point. Like, he's a peer at that point. And he's one of them now. After what they had all been through, his life is crumbling. It's not just like, I wish things were better. This kid's life is over because of a villain. That his friends are being targeted. His family is being targeted. He can't go to school. He can't get a job. He can't have a life. He can't be with the people he loves. He's going to jail for something he didn't do. That's a good reason to reach out to a friend and help them. And that's a good reason for a good friend to try and help your friend. And that's why I think like it makes sense to me that he would do it. I mean, in the comics, he tried to help him do it. He did help him do it. So like, it just makes sense to me that he would try to do what he could to help him with this thing. But it's just that maybe I think there's more to why it backfires than what we see in the trailer, though, if that makes any sense. Catbox. Thoughts on Nico Minoru joining the MCU? I have a lot of friends messaging me after the Suns game trailer. Who is that? I have no idea. No idea. Whoops. Codename Sister Grimm in the Gloom. Yeah, I've never heard of her. Trailer's hiding the full reason of the spell, I feel, for sure. I mean, it could be. I just think it's a coincidence. Like, for what is essentially a memory spell, it should have nothing to do with the multiverse. It's nothing more than a giant Men in Black memory flash. He's just taking a memory out and making everybody forget it. So, like, I don't see why that would affect the multiverse. So that's why I think there's something else happening that messes it up. Same when mentioned Peter dies near his Uncle Ben's grave, protecting Aunt May, and Aunt May buries Peter just beside him. That would be kind of dark. Still a chance they'll release a Wonder Woman show now that they have one for Superman. It's possible. It is possible because the Superman show is doing pretty damn well. Manifest is about a plane. Went missing for 5 years, and out of nowhere it reappears again. Where passenger has only been a few hours. It's very, very interesting. That does sound interesting. Marvel has everyone trying to guess the plot because of a trailer that they filled with full of deceits, probably. Oh, 100%. I guarantee there's a lot of trickery in that because it's not the first time. They've digitally removed and replaced people. They've had people in scenes where they were never actually in that scene in trailers before. Like, it's almost like we can... it's really dangerous to try to take anything in the trailer at face value, for sure. This movie can low-key change Marvel forever, because if they pull off this movie with this much ambition, then kudos. We just don't want another Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 2. Agreed, Hunter Reese. Minoru was the witch girl in Runaways. Never watched Runaways. Really immature teen thing. Yeah, I don't mean to be reductive about Peter's feelings. It just seems more in line with Strange's characterization. I mean, I feel like it perfectly lines up with Strange in the universe. To me, but that's why I think the spell's not as dangerous as it seems to be. And I think that Wong is not referencing the memory spell when he's telling him about it and leaving. I think that's another misdirect as well from the trailer editing, but we'll see. We'll see. But I'm having fun speculating, though. I'm not like saying anybody's wrong. I just like some people were very like matter of fact about it when there's like no evidence yet. Ragu, nah, Runaways might come later. What's up, Larson? Welcome, buddy. I don't think Doctor Strange helps Peter, but more for himself. He wants to see if he can make it happen. It's a big spell. So kind of like he wants to see if he can do it, test himself. Now that would be arrogance. That would fall into like early Doctor Strange days. And I still don't think it's above him. I don't think he's had that big of a character growth. To be honest, I think he's just as arrogant as he's always been. But ego has always been Doctor Strange's downfall and his greatest strength. Also, if I remember correctly, her mother was one of Caecilius's followers in the first Doctor Strange. I don't know anything about the character. I don't know anything about the Runaways. And I'll remind everybody again that the MCU is not, or not the MCU, Marvel in general is not where all of my knowledge lies. Like, most of what I learn about this is through the live action shows, a few of the cartoons, and all of that. I do not have the vast knowledge of the Marvel universe as I do with DC. So yeah. So I have no idea about any of that stuff. Be honest, everybody's gonna hate me for this. My favorite Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield. Sorry, Omni. I mean, nothing sorry about it. I think he's a good Spider-Man. I didn't think he was a good Peter Parker, but I thought he was a really good Spider-Man. Like, I liked his Spider-Man. I just didn't like the movies he was in, sadly. Love how Marvel adds and removes things from the trailers. I think it just adds to all the hype before the film. I do definitely agree that a little of how the trailer seemed is how, like, and Up, they probably only showed things from the first 30 minutes of the movie and all digital editing, trickery, and everything. And then there's also been this whole, like, debate about whether or not that should be considered false advertising, because people got really upset about some of the changes and tweaks that were done in the trailers for Endgame and Infinity War. Imagine this is a post-credit scene where Peter is holding a newspaper of superhero team looking for recruits. As he swings to a place looking for a job, he crashes into the building and sticks to the wall. Did you watch Watchmen? If so, what did I think? I did. That was a really good show. It was really intense, really dark, a lot of fun. It was honestly a little too smart for me to talk about, so I just never reviewed it. But I did watch it, and I loved it. Definitely deviates from the comics a little bit. It is its own thing. But I had a blast watching it. Great performances in it. Part 1. God friended me as a guy. It's a Facebook friend request from God. Each episode, God sends him a person from Facebook he has to help. Each person is struggling with something in life. 2. Him and his friends are trying to find out who's behind the account, and the actress who played Jessie Quick is the main character. Well, that sounds existentially terrifying, but interesting. That's weird. That's interesting. You're probably right. That isn't really what ends up breaking everything. Definitely feel you on the misdirect thing, and yeah, this is fun. I'm glad. Some people take it too seriously. Sometimes get butthurt about predictions and other people disagreeing or whatever, and I'm just glad we don't really run into that too often here, at least, thankfully. It's I don't know why a memory spell would tap into the multiverse or potentially crack open the multiverse, because that's why I think something else causes that. Maybe Wanda's event or Loki's event all happen at the same time as the spell itself, and it just happens as a result. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. We hear the voice of Reed saying, "Who the hell are you?" We pan out and see the Fantastic Four. It'd be interesting. A few scenes that we got a spell were hacked up and seemed heavily edited. I agree. It is great that we're getting Electro and possibly Lizard back. People also think that scene is Venom, which I think is highly not going to happen. I agree with you. I don't think Venom's going to be in this movie. I would like for Venom to be in the movie, but I don't think he will. And yeah, that was definitely Lizard in that one scene. When you pause it, 100%. Do you think Sandman is protecting Peter in that trailer, or is it just a big cloud of dust? See, I don't know. I honestly, the first time I watched it, I was like, that's just the lightning hitting and exploding. I could see how some people would think it might also be Sandman, because it is a lot of dust that collectively could look like a shit ton of sand. But it would indicate that he's protecting Peter, because that's a giant wall that would be blocking that sand or that lightning. So I don't know. I don't know. You could read it either way. Did I see the new Rockstar's Toby theory? I have not. I have not yet. Not a bad theory. I should check it out. I'll give it a watch after this. I don't know if I'll do a reaction to it or anything like that, because I try to keep that just to their breakdowns so that I'm not leeching all of their videos. But I'll probably check it out after this. Guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up and get ready to get some dinner. And I don't know if I'll be back on tonight or not, playing a game or anything like that, because I know we were going to play a little more. I was thinking about either playing more Ghost of Tsushima, and then the other day I started getting pretty heavy back into Destiny 2. So I don't know. We'll just kind of see. We'll play it by ear as we always do. But guys, thank you so much for everybody who's tuned in, everybody who's come and hang out in the channel. That was a sentence. And especially everybody that has super chatted. Thank you guys so freaking much. I really, really appreciate it, you guys. And if you have not, join our Discord. Come hang out. We can talk about whatever you want, whenever you want. And hang out with the community, everybody else. And yeah, get to know each other. You know, let's see. Hold on. Before we go, I saw some other stuff kind of spill in here. What if I'm thinking Thomas? What if forgetting that Thomas Spider-Man makes the villains just see him as the Spider-Man from their universe? That's actually what I said earlier in the stream and in my breakdown, or my reaction to New Rockstar's breakdown. It's 1 at night. Well, get some sleep, Ann. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for that super chat. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah. Join the Discord, everybody. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Last minute super chat from Captain J. Thank you so much, man. Gosh. And then after this, I really do need to get my Candyman review out, and I'll probably do that right after this just to kind of get it out of my chest. But thanks, everybody. I'll see you guys later. And just kind of keep an eye out. Who knows if I'll be streaming again this weekend, but I'll let you know if I can. Take care, everybody.